bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion. And Carrie, oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Hey y'all, welcome and happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, and hot topics, and all the things that go on in between that. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today, including there's some news that came out that Avengers, Secret Wars, and Doomsday have been delayed. I'll let you know what's going on with that. Plus, we have some casting news in regards of a new Street Fighter movie, because we got all these other video game adaptations coming out, so you should have known that was coming. We have to talk about the Diddler and all that. Oh my god, I just realized I did not make the banner for that. I was like, how you do a whole situation and you forget to make the Diddy banner? So yeah, we got to talk about that because Kid Cudi, and I can make that as I talk to y'all. Kid Cudi apparently he testified against the Diddler in court today. So we have to definitely talk about that and all that good stuff. Plus, remember back in the day when Wendy Williams had revealed that she had gotten fired from New York City because she was outing people wanting to be in Diddy as being a closeted homosexual? Well, apparently, I got the clip of the thing that she said that transpired and we got the wheel rolling in regards of her getting fired over there at Hot 97, courtesy of the Daily Mail. So shout out to them. We have to talk about The View and the fact that apparently the overlords over there at ABC are telling the ladies to pipe down on the Trump talk because they feel like they're going a little bit too far. So we'll break that down. Plus, Tory Lanez has been transferred to a different prison after being knifed up 14 times. And also, I got some screenshots that somebody sent me in regards of saying like all this mess that they keep talking about with Megan Thee Stallion and how he's innocent. Well, her legal team dropped some receipts, so I happen to have that. Plus, Janet Jackson is out here struggling to sell tickets to her Vegas residency. Michael Jackson's biopic has been delayed. I'm gonna let you guys know when the actual release date is gonna be. Well, when they're planning on releasing it. There was a measles outbreak at Shakira's New Jersey concert, so if you attended, y'all need to go see a doctor. Get yourself down to the clinic or the CDC and have them look y'all over because y'all body parts might be in danger. Also, Carrie Underwood is facing backlash over the way she reacted to in the finale over the guy that won. The people was reading her down to the floor. So we have that story. Plus, I don't know if y'all saw the trailer, but we're going to talk about it. Noah's Ark is back, so we're going to break that down and when it's going to be released. Well, it's going to be released during Pride Month, but I'm going to let y'all know what went down with that. And plus, last but certainly not least, we are a couple of hours from another episode of Drag Race, All Stars. So Lexi Love is giving us an update on her recovery after leaving rehab due to some circumstances. So we'll break all that down and a whole lot more. But before we get to those topics, if you can, please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll be putting timestamps in the show later on after the live stream so that way y'all can just follow along and just click on to whichever topic at hand instead of having to sit through all the banter that we usually do during the show. So before we get to the comments, because I see a couple of pouring in. Oh, wait a minute. What happened to that thing that they had up in here? They don't have that banner thing. When the people was commenting and it was like, oh yeah, you could choose the comments. I don't know if it pops up again, I add it because I was like, well, that was a cute little situation that we added to the show. But anyway, without further ado, me and my banner. Let's get to the first topic. And let's get into this news. So it looks like the MCU, if you are a Marvel fan, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see the MCU's Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, because apparently, according to the trades, and this is Variety, so they're the real deal, Holyfield, we have a delay in the franchise, so we might not be seeing Doomsday and Secret Wars until about 2027. So, the Avengers, they said, will need a few more months to assemble. Now, Disney has delayed the release of Marvel Studios' upcoming team-up adventures, Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars. So Doomsday is now set to debut on December 18, 2026, moving about 7 months off its original slate date of May 1st, 2026. To match, the follow-up of Avengers Secret Wars is moving its release from December 17th, 2027, after being set for May 7th, 2027. Which I guess makes sense because I was sitting there thinking, if you're going to be doing both these movies, and I heard somebody say that they were going to do a break in between. So after they do Doomsday, they were going to take like a year. I'm like, that makes no sense because if they're going to take a year after they finish filming Doomsday, and who knows how long it's going to take them? It may take them 6 months to shoot this movie. They just started shooting, I believe, this month. So it may take them about 6 months to shoot. There was no way they were going to have the next one out by the time in which they were going to have it. And I'm sure like with all the special effects and things that they have to add in there, and all these people that they've named, like all those stupid little chairs that they showed and all other stuff, the way that they all these people that are going to be popping in this movie, they needed way more time. So I think this is a smart move on their part. I know a lot of people are going to be pissed, but it is what it is. So now Disney announced both Avengers delays Thursday afternoon alongside a sweeping reorganization of its coming theatrical slate. Notably, the new calendar saw the studio move several unannounced Marvel titles off its calendar. To date, the date of February 13, 2026, previously slotted for an entitled Marvel project, has been removed from the schedule. Meanwhile, the dates of November 6, 2026 and November 5th, 2027, all both previously set for Untitled Marvel features, have been amended to simply Untitled Disney films. Because they probably had an idea of things and things aren't going the way that they expected them to go, so now they removed it. So now they said with those changes, Avengers Doomsday and Sony Spider-Man Brand New Day are now the only Marvel Cinematic Universe entries slated to hit theaters in 2026. Additionally, the July 31st, 2026 release of the fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man entry now precedes the release of Doomsday. Now, Doomsday and Secret Wars are both massive productions for Marvel Studios, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So here's the thing that I'm wondering. Okay, so we have Thunderbolts. That did what it did at the box office. Fantastic Four is coming, I believe, in July. And then we don't even know when X-Men is supposed to be coming, but we know the X-Men is supposed to appear in Doomsday. I don't necessarily know about Secret Wars, but for now, the X-Men is supposed to appear in Doomsday. And I'm sure, and of course, down the line, X-Men are supposed to get spun off in their own individual movies, hence why they said the director of Thunderbolts is in talks to direct an X-Men movie. But can somebody please tell me with all of this stuff that's going on, what the hell is going on with Blade? Why haven't we heard anything about that movie yet? I'm sitting here so sick and tired of bringing up this film because it's like y'all talking about these untitled things that were moved off the schedule. Can y'all stop setting schedule for things if y'all don't know what the hell y'all are doing? Like, I understand that Marvel is still trying to get its bearings and they're a little insecure because, yeah, they had a rocky phase right after the last, what was it, Endgame. They kind of had, they started on shaky ground while y'all set the foundation and y'all started building up all these movies and things, which was great for that time where you took your time with the shows and the movies and all these other things. Now we're going through this thing of, okay, so now we have Doomsday and Secret Wars, which I kind of feel was kind of thrown together at the last second. Because I'm like, where the hell did Doom all of a sudden and Secret Wars and all this other stuff come from when you really haven't even built up to us getting a new set of Avengers? I think that was probably where they were planning on going with the Eternals and Shang-Chi and all these other ones. But that the way y'all mapped that out, it just didn't work for me. And it's funny how now, even though a friend of mine even sent me this in our group chat, and he was sitting there saying something or another like, oh, yeah, well, the MCU, I think it was Kevin Feige or something, they all confirmed that, yeah, it felt like homework watching those movies. And I'm like, duh, we've been saying that. I think a lot of the fans felt like it was homework. And I don't think it makes you feel dumb if you're going to, well, maybe you just didn't get it. No, that's not it. I should not, if I don't care about certain characters and certain shows and these other things, I shouldn't have to sit through those shows and then go, if I'm interested in seeing a movie, like, for example, what was it? The Multiverse of Madness. If I want to sit through that movie, I shouldn't have to be someone that has to watch the show with Scarlet Witch in order to know what the hell was going on in that movie. So when you decide to make things homework and intertwine and interlink everything, it does make it difficult because a lot of people don't have time to sit and watch all these shows and movies and stuff. That's why I like when during the earlier phases, like I've said many a time, you can mention something in a sentence, you can mention a little something in this movie and it'll be like, okay, I got it. And I don't have to go and sit through this whole situation. So, and also, you know what? I'm gonna just let's see what y'all doing and wait and see how it all turns out. I'm still not 100% convinced or on board with this whole Robert Downey Jr. coming in as Dr. Doom situation. Because and I intentionally picked this picture. This whole pose with him with the arms is not even giving me Dr. Doom. It's feeling very Tony Stark to me. And I feel like when you've played a specific superhero character, I don't think he could be like a Chris Evans where he goes and plays Johnny Storm, but also comes in as Captain America, and you can differentiate the two. It's just me looking at him here. I don't care how good of a damn actor you are. I just feel like Robert Downey Jr. he just gave too much as Tony Stark that I can't differentiate him playing a different MCU character because even the mannerisms, the pose, the gravitas, all of that, that's not giving me Dr. Doom. This is giving me you're at you're a corporate oligarch at an event and you're showing off. Like this is this is giving me with this pose. So that took me out of the whole situation. So that's why I'm not 110% convinced that he could pull off playing Dr. Doom. But I'm gonna sit and wait and see how it all turns out when the movie is finally done and it comes out in the theater and all of a sudden I see a trailer, then I'll come to my conclusion. But for now, in my opinion, I just feel like he's not giving me what I need yet as Dr. Doom. So yeah, that's the latest news that came out about Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret War. So I ask all of you, why do you think that the movie is getting a delay at to being released? Do you think it may have to do with there's a lot of moving parts and things are happening behind the scenes and they're probably going to need more time to do like post-production? They need a little extra time to shoot certain sequences. Like, what do you think the reason is why we have to delay these movies and now the movie is getting pushed to December of 2026, which is a weird time because that's Christmas. And when you look at something like a Doomsday, I would expect that y'all would want to release that during the summer movie release situation, but that's the day that they chose. Hopefully it won't bomb like the last what was the last superhero movie they dropped in December? Aquaman. Hopefully it won't be as bad as that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I said go easy on Look at y'all trying to pre-warm. Y'all should be like, don't go so hard. Don't windmill too hard on Janet now. Rama's in the building. There was also growing momentum since Civil War. I see no momentum from Thunderbolts or RDJ as Dr. Doom. I mean, Thunderbolts was a good movie, but I honestly feel like I really don't hear nobody talking about it. Like, people are talking about Sinners. People are talking about, I'm like, what other not superhero, what other movies came out? Like, it just don't seem like Thunderbolts on everybody's radar right now. I mean, it was a good film, but I don't know if it's if it was if it's got everybody excited. It's like Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. People are used to seeing him as Iron Man. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it. Well, I hope it's about time we get ourselves a new Wolverine. But yeah, I feel like if Hugh Jackman was to play any other superhero, people would not be able to be like, okay, I can accept you as a different superhero. You will always, in our eyes, you play this character for so long. That's all I see you as. And a lot of these people that have played superheroes, they've never been able to maintain a career outside of. I mean, they could do other movies and things, but they don't really do well at the box office. Hence, I just saw this commercial today with Dakota Johnson torn between two men, one being my husband, Pedro Pascal, and the other one is Chris Evans. And I'm like, are people going to want to see this? And this is going to the movies. Like, I don't know if people care about it's not really a rom-com. It kind of falls in this, it kind of has like that notebooky type of vibe to it. So I don't know if people are really into those, yeah, it is rom-com, like romantic comedy. Duh, that's what they call it. I don't know if people are going to be interested in wanting to see those, but we'll see. In a theater, because I think like those will probably do well on streaming or something. Fantastic Four is their big summer blockbuster, and no one seems to be talking about it. Yeah, because I saw somebody posted something online. I was watching on Instagram. I wish I remembered his name. I was watching this guy on Instagram, and he was talking about how like More people are excited to see Superman than they are in seeing Fantastic Four. And because it was like more people, because more people tend to watch the YouTube commercial, I mean the trailer. And I was looking at it as like, yeah, I think the momentum is more for Superman. I mean, there's you got the Snyder Bros that are still upset over Henry Cavill not playing Superman anymore. But look, I don't hear y'all being all upset that they're about to dump Voltron on freaking streaming. That's not even going into the movies. And I'm hearing Highlander might get the same thing. I'm like, damn, y'all just be out here doing Henry Cavill dirty. Y'all dumping all his movies on streaming. But you want to know what? No shade, but I'm not. As much as I am a fan of Highlander and I'm a fan of Voltron because Voltron is of my generation, if you're not if you're under 40, most people don't care about freaking Voltron or Highland. Like the younger generation don't care about that. So they're not going to sit and want to see that. Oh, see, now it pops up. I think what it is y'all have to drop enough comments in order for them to show up on the side. That's what it is. Because I'm like, why ain't see it? It ain't show up. Oh wait, no, it's not going. Oh, okay, I got it now. That's because I was in my banners, and now when you go to the comments, then you could bring up the comments. Yeah. So, you said they have a Mickey Mouse horror movie on Peacock. It's called Mousetrap. And didn't that just drop recently? Also, I heard Mickey 17. I believe is coming to HBO Max this week. I need to watch that. That's with Robert Pattinson. I remember when Eternals dropped on Thanksgiving. Yeah, nobody cared. And the movie wasn't bad. It was just long. It wasn't my favorite. There were some moments in it that was cool, but for the most part, I was like, okay, whatever. I just think people are done with comic films. I don't know what people want anymore. A video of a YouTube Gen Z said they don't like going to the films because it's like they didn't grow up. I don't know. Look, I get that the younger generation is not interested in going to the movies. To me, here's the thing. I don't understand people. And I think I saw someone on YouTube. I forget who it was. It might have been Drum Dums or one of the pundits, movie pundits, took a picture of somebody. Literally, they said they were on their phone the entire time while they were at the theater watching the movie. And to me, it's like, anyway, hell, I'm spending $20 to go to the movies just to be on my damn phone. Like, your phone will still be there when the credits roll. You can put it down, you can focus, and that's that. I like going to the movies. But it has to be an event for me. There has to be a real reason why I need to go to the movies. Hence, why I went to go see Final Destination Bloodlines. I want to actually go see. I'm going to try to, but it's probably not going to happen. But I want to see Mission Impossible this weekend. But it's probably going to be hard for me to get to the movies this weekend because I'm going to be freaking busy, and it's Memorial Day weekend, so it's going to be hard. But I'm going to try to get out. Ballerina. I definitely want to go to the movies to see that. However, Lionsgate, can y'all please stop with the damn videos and stuff, the clips of the movies, of like the action sequences on YouTube. I've been seeing y'all, they've been posting a lot of clips because they want people to sit and watch. I don't think that they believe that this movie is going to be successful or whatever, because it's like, oh, John Wick's not in it, and it's Ana de Armas, and nobody really knows Ana de Armas. She's a new character. And it's like, sell the film. You can show sequences and tell people that, yeah, it's in the world of John Wick, and just hope that the people come out and see it. But don't just start posting clips and stuff of your movie all over YouTube because you're worried that people aren't going to come out and see this film. Look, it could have the same type of energy as John Wick. Remember when John Wick first came out? They thought that movie was going to be a flop. It looked like a straight to DVD type situation. They put it out in small theaters. I remember when I worked at AMC, it was like in the smallest of theaters, but it was on like the 6th floor, which they have like the smaller theater. It's not the smallest. The smallest was theater 2 on the 3rd floor. So they put it in, and they would put like something like a real indie movie. Like they would put the first Terrifier. That would go in theater 2 because they was like, we don't know if this movie's going to do all that well. But they put it in a small theater. Then word of mouth came around. Then it became this big phenomenon. And then when John Wick Chapter 2 came out, it got put in bigger theaters. So sometimes y'all got to start from the ground up. Yeah, John Wick has a name and everything about it, but if you're going to do these spinoffs, try them out in smaller little spots and then watch it grow. And then word of mouth be like, oh, hey, did you see this movie Ballerina? Oh my God, it was so good. Go out and see it. But you know Hollywood, they just be thinking everything's got to make $100 million in 3 days. Every movie is not going to do that. Sometimes it just be the little engine that could. And it's a new IP, even though it's a part of it's a spinoff of a pre-existing IP. It's an original IP in so many ways. So you have to grow that. But I don't know. So that was what was kind of pissing me off, because I was like, all these clips are showing up, and I seen the one where she was with the plates and stuff. That was a cool sequence. Then it was she was killing it. The grenade in the guy's mouth. That was a cool sequence. And then it was the one with she's beating the guy up with an ice skate. I'm like, these are cool sequences, but I don't want to go to the movies and be like, okay, I saw this part and I'm numb to it. Like, I want to have my, I like to call them oh shit moments. Like, that's what I want when I go see a movie. So don't reveal too much. Nobody's talking about Bloodlines, and it's because the Warner already have digital release date. People are still, well, I guess those of us who saw Final Destination Bloodlines is talking about it, but I don't like these quick releases on digital. It's like, damn, give your movie a chance to make money. Although Final Destination is a big hit already. It grossed over $100 million worldwide, so it's already a hit. So I don't think they're all that upset. But then again, I'm like, y'all don't like money? Like, even if the movie didn't do all that well, I mean, even if the movie is doing well, I would kind of want to squeeze more juice out the lemon. That's what I would want. I don't think people are actually looking forward to films. It seems there's no essential film. I don't know. There's probably some people that are like that, but Mission Impossible is getting mixed reviews, though. There was like, it's more about the stunts and the story. And the Final Reckoning storyline was a bit contrived anyway. The Dead Reckoning Part 1. Final Reckoning, I'm hearing like it's mixed. Like it drags a bit in the beginning to get going. There's 2 big major sequences. The submarine sequence, which I remember they were filming that around the time they were filming the last Mission Impossible. And so they have the submarine sequence and then they have the plane sequence. So they said those are like the big standouts of the film. And the action is really cool, whatever. But for the most part, the story is and Esai Morales as the villain isn't all that great either, but it's probably because they underwrote him, which makes me think, thank God Nicholas Hoult decided to drop out of that film, because initially he was supposed to be the villain, and then he dropped out, and then they picked Esai Morales. But I think they were probably trying to go with some Gen Z tech genius villain type or whatever, because it was about AI. So I look forward to movies, and I do think that movies is moving in a different direction. We just have to figure out how people can receive those. Gen Z did grow up going to theaters. Gen Alpha, on the other hand, did not. They grew up with, absolutely. It's like millennials, Gen Z have, doing theater. Gen Alpha, they've pretty much grown up with, we watch everything on our phone. Me, I don't like watching. I mean, I watch things on my phone if I'm coming home from work. Like, I'll put something on my phone and I'm watching stuff, if a YouTube video, or with our horrible infrastructure with the subways. The only thing that works on the subways for me without interruption is Netflix. Every other streaming service will not work if I'm underground. But Netflix got some good, So that's what I'll be watching. I remember hearing a few years ago they were going to do a live action Jetsons movie. Thank God they decided not to, because, I mean, they should have did it back then around the time of the Flintstones. But now nobody cares. That thing wouldn't really do all that well. And if they did, if they decide to make it, it'd probably have to go to streaming, because who's actually going to go to the movies to see the Jetsons? If they would have released it 20 years ago, I think they would, because that would have been for the right generation. But today, no, it wouldn't work. Just like I don't think, unfortunately, that Voltron would even do well. Even Transformers today. Do people even care about Transformers? I mean, I like the animated one, Transformers 1, but I don't think it did all that well at the box office. I didn't know they stopped making films for senior citizens because they have yet to. I was like, to what? Embrace movies. I mean, they embrace it in the confines of their home. He said, why was there no major red carpet for Mission Impossible? I wonder why. Is it because of the protests? Wait, what would they be protesting? I mean, Tom Cruise has been out doing interviews. I've been seeing those. He's been out doing interviews and stuff. But as far as like major red carpets, I haven't really heard anything about that. I didn't even know if they were doing that. I don't know. It's probably a lot going on. That's a good question. I would have to look it up, but I haven't seen. And then I know there was a big New York City premiere, There was also, he did the Cannes Film Festival, so that's probably what all of that was. They're not trying to do some major, you know, premiere thing. So he promoted it at Cannes and all that other stuff. But anyway, now since we already on this whole thing about movies and things, let's get into this story. So there's a new Street Fighter movie in the works, and it looks like we may have some major people, celebrities, that are going to be a part of this film. And I was sitting there like, you know what? This cast, I'm actually here for it. Noah Centineo, Andrew Koji, Roman Reigns, and Jason Momoa. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't Jason Momoa related to him? And I was like, no, that's Dwayne Johnson cousin. You know, I guess I'll be getting my my Hawaiians mixed up. Because you know that's my because you know, or Samoans I should say, because they are Samoan. Now they said the movie was shelved. I'm like, when was there ever a story about a Street Fighter movie was made and then it was shelved? But maybe there was talks of them making one, and now it's back on maybe it's back on board or whatever the case is, or they decide, okay, now we got some people that are interested, let's make the movie. So now they're saying that Legendary and Capcom's planned live action Street Fighter reboot is moving forward with Katao Sakurai from Bad Trip at the helm, and they have, I guess, secured some major cast members. So Andrew Koji, who was in Bullet Train, he was in a movie that I really liked, Boy Kills World with Bill Skarsgård. He was good in that. And I remember him from the show Warrior, which I'm still mad that they canceled that show after 3 seasons. If people want to watch it still, and it's a little history up in there too, because it talks about how like the Chinese helped build the railroads and the racism they endured against other people who were also ostracized by the United States, and that'd be the Irish. So if y'all want to get a little history lesson on top of some cool martial arts and a lot of sex, definitely check out Warrior, because I thoroughly enjoyed that film. I mean that show, and Andrew Koji was pretty good in it. It's about 3 seasons. I believe it's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, definitely check it out. So yeah, so Andrew Koji has been approached. Jason Momoa, Noah Centineo, who was originally supposed to be He-Man before they decided not to go with the He-Man I guess he was in, and then they decided to cast Nicholas Galitzine. So that's who was supposed to be in it. And also Noah, child, I heard, Noah's dating Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, I heard that too. I didn't hear it. I actually saw them out and about. So yeah, they dating. And Roman Reigns, who was in Hobbs and Shaw. I don't remember that. Maybe because I only saw. Wait, I saw Hobbs and Shaw twice, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, I do remember Roman. He was at the end. I forgot when they did the whole when they had to get the family and all that stuff together. So I was like, yeah, he was in that. It's funny how I remember it as I'm talking about it. But anyway, so they said they're set to star in the live-action Street Fighter movie based on Capcom's video games, and this is according to Deadline. Now, reps for the studio declined to comment, and the plot of the film remains under wraps. In February, Bad Trip's Katao Sakurai boarded as director, inheriting the project from Talk to Me's Danny and Michael Philippou, who attached themselves in April of 2023. Well, they have this new movie out. Wait, who's what's the name of the movie? Because it's funny how I can't even remember the new movie that they have out, because what was it? Because it was like, I keep seeing the damn like if I watch Netflix or whatever the case, I mean not Netflix, if I watch YouTube, they have this new movie out that constantly that pops up and think, bring her back. I don't know why I cannot remember the name of that damn movie. That ad pops up every time, because you know I ain't paying that extensive amount of money for no damn YouTube. So I sit through the ads and stuff, which they get to be annoying with the placements and stuff. But anyway, so they have this Bring Her Back movie, which I'm hearing is like really good and is like one of the scariest movies of the year. I'm sure Weapons will probably be like, we'll raise you 100 on that, but we'll see. And I do want to see it, but I'm like, I don't know why y'all would release that around summer. Why would y'all release a horror movie in the summer? They don't really do all that well, unless it's I Know What You Did Last Summer. But they have that movie, so I wonder if they decide not to do it for that specific reason. But anyway, so yeah, they said the film adaptation is being co-developed and co-produced alongside Capcom, the developer and publisher of the video games. No word has emerged yet on who has written and who specifically will produce the actioner. Now, launched in 1987, Street Fighter is a series of fighting games revolving around intense one-on-one battles between a diverse cast of martial artists. The games often center around a global fighting tournament organized by M. Bison, the leader of the evil organization Shadaloo. Street Fighter has sold over 55 million units worldwide since its launch, making one of the most well-known and highest-grossing video franchises of all times. Now, known for roles on the series Warrior. Oh, I forgot he was in Gangs of London too, as well as films like Bullet Train and Boy Kills World. Koji will next be seen in the to-be original Worth the Wait and Prime Video Heist series Haven, among other projects. He is, and then they said, we already know what Jason Momoa has been in. He just recently finished shooting Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, where he plays Lobo, and then he's also going to be back and do Messiah. But I thought Duncan Idaho died. So apparently he's going to be in that. And then he's also doing an action comedy called The Wrecking Crew with Dave Bautista. Now, I should point out this. So there's no word on who they're playing, but Nexus Point News is reporting that Koji and Centineo are playing Ryu and Ken. And Jeff Snyder is reporting that Momoa will play green skin fan favorite Blanca, and Reigns may be playing Akuma. So here is his Twitter post, because, you know, sometimes I love you, Jeff Snyder, but sometimes you can be so damn smug with some of your posts. So he was like, just got scooped on at WWE Roman Reigns joining the Street Fighter movie. Not happy. So I was like, sir, you know how this business is. You are not always going to get, you know, you're not always gonna be the one to be the first to get the information that you need to get. Sometimes you're just gonna get scooped, and it is what it is. Between you and Daniel RPK fighting for T, and now Nexus Point News done scooped you. Because I remember that when he does a show with John Roca, and they was talking on last week's show. I'm sure they probably dropped the episode or something today. But anyway, so they did a show last week, and there was something that he was talking about. I can't remember what the topic was, but he threw a little fit because he was like, "Oh, I hate when the studio scoop me on things," and and so it's like, so I can imagine, I can hear his voice in my head as I read that little headline. So yeah, this is his post. So it said, last month, Nexus Point News reported that Noah Centineo and Andrew Koji were in talks to play Ken and Ryu in a Street Fighter movie that's in the works at Legendary Pictures. I've since learned that is true. And additionally, I'm told that WWE wrestler Roman Reigns is in talks to play TK. Katao Sakurai will direct the script by Delon Musan, who not Captain America Brave New World. Well, first of all, Captain America Brave New World had like 20 damn people writing the script and changing it up, and y'all couldn't figure out what the hell y'all wanted to write. So maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully he can come up with something good here. Now, Koji will play Ryu, the titular Street Fighter, a martial artist who has mastered the art of Ansatsuken. Oh, you can. That's what I'm going to call it. And travels the world in search of worthy opponents to battle. Centineo will play Ken Masters, Ryu's friend and rival who trained with Ryu from a young age. Now, Reigns is poised to play Akuma, the younger brother of Guken, who is Ryu and Ken's master. Akuma made his debut in Super Street Fighter II Turbo as a secret character and an alternative boss to the villain M. Bison. Street Fighter, blah, 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 is based on video game. We already know all of that. So, they even put his real name, and they said Reigns, whose real name is Joe Anoa'i, previously appeared on the big screen in Fast and the Furious, and we'll see if he's a good actor. So, this is some interesting news. And then, yeah, they said that Momoa will play Blanca. So I'm a fan of Street Fighter. I got a soft spot for the movie that with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kylie Minogue and all of them movies up in there. I don't think that movie was that bad. I mean, it wasn't good either. And the most enjoyable part about that film for me was Raul Julia. May he rest in peace. So he was a more interesting part of that film. So I'm actually curious to see where they go with that, with the film. Look, with the success of so many video game adaptations as of late, we have yet to get a sequel to Mortal Kombat, even though I believe it is finished. Entertainment Weekly, I think when they were doing their movie preview thing, they did have like a photo of Mortal Kombat. So we are definitely getting Mortal Kombat, the second one. I am curious to see how it was. I did enjoy the action and everything in Mortal Kombat. The story was a little bit for me, but the fight sequences in that movie was dope. I liked it, and I just didn't understand the Cole Young character. But for the most part, I did like a couple of things that they put in that movie. So I'm hoping that with the sequel, it is a bit better in regarding of the story, or it has a much stronger story. So I'm hoping that we get the same thing with Street Fighter. I mean, it was only a matter of time before we get a reboot of that, because you don't want to just have to sit and have that Jean-Claude Van Damme version being the only version of Street Fighter there is. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? You excited to hear these cast members alleged to be a part of the upcoming Street Fighter reboot? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. You said, I'm thinking Jason Momoa could play Blanca, or, well, yeah, he's playing, but the word is he's playing Blanca. Who's going to do Cammy? They have big dancing shoes to fill. That'd be a good question. Which white actors would they get to play Cammy? And who will play Chun-Li? That is a good one, too. Like, I'm trying to think, are there really any... I was trying to think of, is there any good Asian actresses out there that can play her? Maybe Anna Sawai from Shogun. Maybe they can get her to play Chun-Li. She's the only one that played that just dropped in my head. M Bison. That'll be interesting who they can get to play him. They would really have to dig and figure out the casting with that. Speaking of Raul Julia, okay, it's coming out in October. I didn't know when it was, but I knew it was this year, and I knew it wasn't this summer, but I knew it was coming out this year, but hopefully it doesn't suck. Anyway, y'all, all right, let's get into this The Diddler story, because Kid Cudi went and testified in the courthouse today. And funny enough, I was on my way because this is why we're getting a late show today, because I went food shopping earlier. Child, when I tell you them prices. But anyway, so yeah. And then I was just going through some stuff, and a friend of mine sent me a bunch of screenshots of his testimony, which I ended up posting on my Facebook page. I don't want to go through the testimony stuff because it gets a little boring when it's like you're reading what the attorney is asking Scott, which is his real name, Scott Mescudi, when you're asking him things of what happened between them. Him and Cassie and that whole situation, and Diddy with the the car explosion and the threats, and offering him water twice, which had me thinking, like, what you put in that water? Because if you keep offering me, you want some water, you sure you want, like, if you're going to keep asking me, I'm like, what's in it? Because with him and slipping people Mickeys and all the other stuff, with everybody was sometimes like, because what you're not going to do is drug me, and then all of a sudden my booty hole hurt when I wake up. So Scott Mescudi, the rapper and actor also known as Kid Cudi, took the stand as a witness during Sean Diddy Combs' trafficking trial on Thursday, recounting his relationship with Cassandra Cassie Ventura and Combs' alleged acts of retaliation. Now, speaking at Combs' sex trafficking trial in Manhattan federal court, Cudi said that one day, while he and Cassie briefly dated, he took her to a West Hollywood hotel to get her away from the seething Combs. While there, he said he got a call from Combs' assistant, Capricorn. Oh, I remember that bitch, Capricorn Clark, who told him Combs and an affiliate were in his house and that she had been forced to go with them. Cudi said he left the hotel to drive home and that he called Combs en route and asked him why he was in his house. He said Combs calmly replied, "I want to talk to you." Well, here's the thing before I get to the rest of the story. You can talk to me all you want, but what you're going to do is get your black ass up out of my house and sit it outside, because nobody invited you to go up in my stuff. I don't give a good goddamn what you doing with Cassie. She shouldn't even let you get up in my spot. Maybe you like whipping her ass, but what you're not going to do is come up in there and think you're going to whip mine. And then you're going to sit up in my house like you run it. You run your house. You run your stuff. You run Bad Boy Records. You don't run me. That's what I would have been like. But, some people just be like, well, Diddy is powerful. Diddy is dangerous. But it's like, okay, you can be all of that, but you need to be all that outside my property because you are trespassing. I didn't invite you in. He didn't invite that vampire up in his house. So they said, but Combs wasn't there when he arrived. Cudi said instead he found that someone had opened Christmas presents he bought for his family and locked his dog in a bathroom. So now you're going through his stuff. Cudi said he wasn't sure what was going on, so he called the police. A few weeks later, Cudi testified his Porsche 911 convertible was destroyed by fire while parked in his driveway. Cudi said that he was at a friend's house when his dog sitter called and told him his car was on fire. Jurors were shown photos of a hole that had been cut in the car's fabric roof and a Molotov cocktail that had been found in the passenger seat. Cassie testified last week that Combs had threatened to blow up Cudi's car and hurt him after he learned that he was dating a Grammy Award-winning rapper who was known for his alternative hip-hop style. Cudi told jurors that Combs denied involvement in the car fire when they met to try to smooth things over the next day at a LA hotel. He said he sought the meeting because after the fire, I said this is getting out of hand. I need to talk to him. Cudi said he didn't have any conflicts at the time with anyone other than Combs. He said, I knew he had something to do with it. This is what he said, leading Combs' lawyers to object. Jurors were told to disregard the remark. Now, at the end of the meeting, as they stood and shook hands, Cudi said that he asked Combs, what are we going to do about my car? Cudi said Combs gave him a very cold stare and responded, I don't know what you're talking about. Cudi said that he was miffed by Combs' answer, but let it go. So now you're going to sit up in here, you're going to do things, you're going to threaten me, and then you're going to try to act stupid and act like you ain't do nothing. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so now there's more to the story. And one thing I want to say, shout out to the Hollywood Reporter for this story, by the way, because they broke it on down. Now they said Cudi said he told Combs that he was taking him for his word, even though I'm sure in his gut he felt like he was full of, shit. Now, eventually, he said he made peace with the situation and there was no more incidents at his house. A few years later, Combs apologized to Cudi for everything when they ran into each other again at a hotel, Cudi testified. Combs seemed subdued as Cudi testified. Although he looked toward the witness stand, neither man seemed to react to the other. Cudi didn't look at Combs when he left the stand. Combs, 55, as you already know, has pleaded not guilty to trafficking and racketeering, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now, during the defense cross-examination of Cudi, Combs' lawyer, Brian Steele, painted Cassie as the villain in the relationship. Yeah, I was trying to make her look like the villain. They was out here trying to make her look like a whore. And it's sort of like, well, then if she's a hoe, then what is Diddy? Her damn pimp? Because his behavior is very pimp-like. So if we're going to sit down here and try to paint her one way, well, what are we going to do with him? Because the side of the canvas of his team is making him look real blank, real nothing, like nothing is on the canvas. So he denied that he used threats or his music industry standing to abuse women and others, and that he forced Cassie or anyone else to take part in drug-related performances called freak-offs. Now, during the defense, I was like, where did I go? Because I lost my spot. Okay, so and they were also trying to paint Cassie like she was living a double life and all the other stuff. So now Cudi also testified that when he started dating Cassie in late 2011, she had led him to believe that she and Combs had broken up. In reality, Cassie testified earlier she was still seeing Combs for freak-offs and used a burner phone to contact Cudi and keep their relationship secret from Combs, saying Miss Ventura was living two different lives. Is that true? Yes, Cudi replied. Cudi also said that he was upset to find out that she had later decided to go back to Combs. Now, after the defense questioning ended, Cudi left the courthouse, walking quickly to a waiting SUV. He didn't stop to speak to reporters. The federal investigation of Combs, y'all know, we don't need to go into that because we already know it started in November after Cassie sued and all that other stuff. So, the way I'm looking at all of this, and I think they said that there was more that was added to this. So hold on. Now they said that she developed a relationship with Cudi in late 2011 and she ended it within weeks after Combs learned about it, and he looked at her phone during one of the hundreds of freak-offs she had endured over the years. Now, George Kaplan, Combs' personal assistant from 2013 to 2015, testified earlier Thursday that he saw Combs be violent with Cassie only once on a 2015 road trip to Las Vegas aboard Combs' private jet. He said he heard glass breaking behind him and saw Combs standing with a whiskey glass in his hand. Saying, quote, there was tremendous commotion and a scuffle, and then after the glass crashed, Cassie screamed, isn't anybody seeing this? Kaplan testified, adding that neither he nor any of the security workers or bad boy staff on the plane responded to the call for help. He said he didn't want to lose his dream job, but then he quit after the attack and later incident in which he saw Cassie with a bruised eye. So the people that are going to be up under Diddy, yes, they're going to sit up there and they're just going to go along with it, and they're just going to look the other way and keep quiet, because at the end of the day, all they care about is their job. All they care about is making sure they maintain their source of income or whatever the case is. And I'm sure, like, maybe there'll be some times if they challenge him, which if you saw that docu-series that they did, I believe on HBO Max, there were people that did speak up against him and things, and then there was people that said that they didn't because out of fear of, he knew a lot of people in the industry and he could give a bad recommendation, and the people would sit there and go, well, this person has a bad rep, so we don't want to work with them. So he could easily ruin and destroy your career. That's how powerful Diddy was at the time. When people say, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Now I do feel for Kid Cudi, because he genuinely cared for her and he wanted to be in a relationship with her, but she couldn't detach herself from Diddy because she was probably still under his spell, in his clutches. You know, they have said, there is a statistic that said it takes someone a whopping 7 times, if they could survive that long, because, you know, sometimes that one hit could be your last. But they said it takes a person a whopping 7 times to finally leave, you know, their abuser. And so people need to realize, like, yeah, even though it is wrong for her to be living double lives and her having this burner phone, because, yeah, she tried to keep her other relationships away from Diddy. So Diddy's sitting there thinking that she with him, that he owns her and all that other stuff. He still has that control. And she doesn't know how to pull herself away from that. I don't necessarily know what was in her mind at the time of why she couldn't pull herself away from him completely. But like I said before, when you're in an abusive situation and you have that, you know, Stockholm syndrome, and when somebody has broken you down mentally as well as physically, you stick with what you know, even though you know it's wrong. It's like that addiction, I guess, is there. So maybe she had an addiction to doing these freak offs and an addiction to being around Diddy. And the time of like, okay, so we broken up, but he's constantly harassing her. And so now she's got to keep herself still, one foot over there with the freak offs and Diddy, this other foot over here. But you over here double dipping, and now someone who genuinely cares about you feels stupid. So in so many ways, I do feel for Kid Cudi, but there was one thing that I read that I thought was a cackle. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yes, it said that what was it? Oh, so then when they said um when it was talking about that when Cassie and him dated, this is from Inner City Press. He said we dated in 2011, and then the attorney asked who else was she involved with. Cudi said Sean Combs. The attorney asked, what did you know about their status? Cudi said that she and Combs had some problems and they weren't dating anymore. And then the attorney says in December 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? Cudi says, yeah, I had a break-in. Cassie called me at 5:30 or 6 a.m. She said Sean Combs had found out about us. She asked me to pick her up, so I did. Yeah. And then the attorney asked why. And they said, Cudi says she was worried. Now, the attorney asked what was her demeanor. Cudi says very stressed and worried. Attorney asks, where did you go? Cudi says the Sunset Marquee. Attorney asks why. Cudi says, I thought it was safe, off the radar. And the attorney said, who else did you speak with? Cudi says Capricorn Clark. She sounded near tears. The attorney says, what did she say? Cudi says that Sean is in the car near my house. And then that's when Brian Steele goes, objection. Judge says overruled. The attorney goes and says, you called Sean Combs? Cudi says, I did. He said, I'm over here waiting for you. Attorney says, when you arrived, what did the outside look like? Cudi says, pretty normal. The attorney says, any security camera? Cudi says, yes, but I found out they weren't working. So then The Cudi says, by the security cameras have been moved, but they've been moved. And then the attorney asks, did you move them? Cudi says, no. Attorney says, what did you see inside your home? The Cudi says, gifts were open, some stuff I got for Chanel, and my dog was locked up in the bathroom. The attorney says, how did you usually leave your dog? And then Cudi says, I let him roam. Then the attorney says, how long had you had your dog? Cudi says, 3 years. Attorney says, what changes were behavior of your dog after the break-in? Cudi says, jittery, on edge all the time. Well, I guess everybody's on edge. He even got dogs on edge. That's how annoying he is. But I'm like, where's that other one that I saw? Oh yeah, and then we're talking about the car and all that other stuff. And oh, so when it went and said, the attorney says, what was Mr. Combs doing? And then Cudi said, this is the part that made me laugh. When he said standing there like a Marvel supervillain. Because it was like when they finally met up. And so then Cudi says, he said, we were homies. You know that is my girl. And then the attorney says, what did you say? Cudi says, I thought you had broken up. Then Sean Combs offered me water twice. He said it was weird. Sean Combs was being so calm because he drunk that damn water, allegedly. That's probably what it was. And then the attorney said, what did Cassie say? And then Cudi says, then that we have fallen in love, things happen. Then the attorney says, what did you say to Mr. Combs? Cudi says, what about my car? He said, I don't know what you're talking about. I walked away. And then they were talking about like the Soho house and all other stuff. So yeah, that was like when he said like a damn a super villain. I was like, oh, because that's what Diddy be trying to act like. Diddy be trying to act like he just be running everything. And at the time he did. Well, look, I just feel like the way they painted this man, his career is pretty much, I would say, he's done. Like, and even if he were to get off, and that's a big if, I just don't see him still being able to survive outside these walls. Like, who in the industry is gonna mess with him? Like, what endorsement deals? Like, you're like, even if you were let off by a jury and they said not guilty after all of this, I do feel like you still are gonna be painted as an evil person. Your reputation is shot. You only have the incels out here wearing them stupid free Diddy t-shirts that'll be supporting you. But for the most part, I just feel like the court of public opinion has pretty much destroyed this man anyway. It's kind of like when you got Candace Owens dumb behind out here thinking that she ate by interviewing Harvey Weinstein, knowing full on well the monster that man was, or still is, because he's still alive. To the point that, look, Georgina Chapman had to drop his ass and get her some real peen from Adrian Brody. Like he could just, as big as his nose, he could satisfy her by shoving that nose up her cooch, and that'll be fine. But anyway, so I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? So yeah, Kid Cudi was the latest to testify in the court case. I wasn't expecting him to be out here testifying and stuff. I think maybe his story will probably do more damage to Diddy than say Dawn Richard. Because I remember Dawn Richard was out here doing her testimony. They ate her up on that stand. But one of the other things that bothered me about that whole Dawn Richard thing, when she was leaving the courthouse and some hood booger had the unlitigated gall to be asking, so how big is Diddy's dick? Well, why don't you go up there and give him a visitation of the prison and ask him to pull his pants down and find out? Because we know you be the type to put it in your mouth. On top of that, she wouldn't mind, being knocked around by Diddy or attending. I said, you know what? Some of y'all just need to go play in traffic. And then y'all also, I feel like, ruin it a lot for those of us who, yeah, we're not journalists, but we come out here and we take this stuff seriously. When we try to bring y'all the information and then we give our opinions based off the information. A lot of y'all think just because y'all got a damn iPhone and y'all standing outside a damn courthouse and shouting stuff that makes you Roz Abrams or freaking Sue Simmons or even Gail King, who I'm hearing her days is allegedly numbered over there at CNN. Oh, not CNN, CBS. But that's where she's at. So I definitely want to hear from y'all latest what y'all think about this whole Kid Cudi Diddy testification situation. So let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Okay, let me close this and let's see what the people are saying. I was watching a podcast of a celebrity makeup artist said how people like Diddy are created is basically getting everything you want and not being told no. Like, it's yeah, we don't know that man, nobody tells him no. That child, that's the same thing I heard about Katy Perry. That there was this YouTube video of a girl that actually went and auditioned for American Idol, and she would spill all kinds of tea. Funny enough, we got an American Idol story with Carrie Underwood. It's about how fake the show is and everything, and how the people listen to your songs and they decide, oh, this is the song you should sing. So it's like, wait, I actually have a song that I want to sing, that I want to go in and perform and audition in front of these judges, but you're telling me this is the song you want me to come in. So now you picking my song for me. And it's like, no, that ain't the song. I bring you I want you in my demos because I am a musician, independent, struggling musician, but nevertheless musician. But now you tell me this is a song I got to sing in order to make it through into the next round. And what's about how mean Katy Perry was and Cole, and how there was somebody that was a background singer for her, and the same thing. Nobody tells her the reality. She lives in her own little bubble. Nobody, so it just makes sense. A lot of these celebrities, they love having smoke blown up their behind. And so this is what you get. And these people really in a delusional era. So I wouldn't want somebody around me that just be kissing my behind all the time. Like, don't get me wrong. If I have an assistant and I'm like, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this, and that's great. But I don't need nobody out here trying to kiss my behind, because I can smell through all that. And I don't like fakeness. But there's some people that like all that. They surround themselves with these yes people and just tell them everything and then don't want the real around them. Shows like American Idol and The Voice do that all the time. They have Melanie Martinez perform Toxic in front of ex-Tina. You think they did that to piss her off? I mean, I would not be surprised. But anyway, speaking of the diddler, let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? Because apparently, shout out to Daily Mail. Y'all are shady as hell, by the way. But nevertheless, I'm here for it. So, while jurors are currently listening to the testimony about Diddy and his exploits with male escorts and female escorts and Cassie and all this other mess. So a decades-old clip of Wendy Williams talking about homosexual rappers has resurfaced. And shout out to the Daily Mail for this story, by the way. So now Williams previously claimed that she was fired from popular New York City radio station Hot 97 in 1998 after sharing her belief that Combs was a homosexual. Now, she supposedly claimed to have a photo of Diddy being intimate with a man. Ooh. Well, now we're talking about it, because, he like having jizz and stuff rubbed on his nipples. So now we got, Wendy said she had the picture. She also made a scandalous remark about the percentage of homosexual entertainers during a Hot 97 segment addressing the allegations that then basketball star Eddie Curry had made sexual advances at his male driver. Williams, during the broadcast, cited her inside experience in the entertainment industry as evidence to support self-proclaimed statistics for the percentage of rappers and pro athletes who were homosexual. She claimed that 2 out of the 10 players and 5 out of the 10 in music were gay. Now, I do have that clip because I still kept the Daily Mail page open so we can play that as a class. Please hold, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
I'm doing great. I love your show. I just want to know, I mean, do you really think that every player is gay, or every other player? It just seems, are you a little gay obsessed, do you think?
I'm not gay obsessed, and every other would be an exaggeration, but I would say 2 out of 10.
Okay.
In sports, and 5 out of 10 in music.
Okay.
Yes, and I don't think that's gay obsessed. I think that's after being in this business for over 20-something years and seeing things from the inside out and the outside in.
I'm doing great.
So, yeah. And I don't necessarily know if her statistics will be correct. However, Wendy is pretty much on point in regards of, like, yes, there are a lot of LGBT people that work behind the scenes in the industry. Or not behind the scenes. Well, there is behind the scenes, but mostly in front of the scene too. But a lot of times because of homophobia in hip hop and things of that nature, queer artists cannot be open and be their true authentic selves without getting a lot of ridicule. You already see what was going on with Lil Nas X. Although I do feel like Lil Nas X could have a big career if he wasn't out here playing around with Jesus and all that other stuff. I feel like that would have really worked in his favor. But then again, when it came down to him, the problem with Lil Nas X is when he jumped on that whole Jesus kick, I just felt like that wasn't him being his authentic self. Somebody in his team told, oh yeah, let's be controversial, kind of do like the Madonna thing. But what worked with Madonna was Madonna is an actual Roman Catholic, kind of like I was raised Roman Catholic. So when she was using things and certain imagery and challenging the hypocrisy of organized religion, particularly the Catholic faith, it was controversial, but it was believable because that's the way she was raised. I don't think that Lil Nas X was raised in that type of religion. So when you out here doing these Jesus religious symbolisms and things, you already know how sensitive people are and how Christians are trying to merge church and state when you're supposed to keep it separate for a freaking reason. But now you have these Christian nationalists trying to control our government, excuse me, our government. Then these are the things that you have to deal with. So, unfortunately, yeah, a lot of the gays can't come out and be their authentic self because of backlash. Their careers will be over, but that was back then. I do feel like there's some queer artists that could be more open now. I was reading an interview with Andy Bell from Erasure. I think he did it for Queer Tea, and he was talking about that. He was saying like how, yeah, back in the day when he was out in the 80s with that band, it was like, yeah, they weren't afforded opportunities because he was openly gay and all this other stuff. Although, you know, he just pushed through and just kept doing his own thing. But yeah, they weren't getting to be on these big major magazine covers. And now he's saying that it has changed a bit because you see people like Troye Sivan and all these other artists who are being their authentic, and Sam Smith, and they're being their authentic selves and they're still having the career. I don't know necessarily about what the hell is that? Well, who did I just say? I don't necessarily know about Sam Smith still because Sam Smith did get a little bit of backlash. Remember when they were going through the wearing the girls' outfits and all that other stuff, and they did get some backlash over some of the clothes they were wearing and the constantly changing of pronouns, and they felt like, oh, they were doing this all for attention. So there was a lot of that. Troye Sivan seems the one that's still been able to kind of maneuver and have a bit of a career. I know like Adam Lambert has had a pretty steady career, so he hasn't been affected. Although there were times where he was affected, because remember when he did that kiss at the American Music Awards. So, but then when you're talking about hip hop is much worse because hip hop is all about machismo and it's a man's game. Yes, we have female rappers that navigate through the industry, but hip hop has always been sort of like a man's thing, male dominated and very misogynistic and homophobic and that sort of thing. So I should point out that while Wendy Williams did not publicly name Combs as the party responsible for her ousting from Hot 97, but has implied it in interviews, she went on to become a superstar talk show host, but famously continued sharing criticism of the Diddler. The resurfaced clip from Williams' stint on the radio program shows an interaction between the star and a listener who called in, and we already played that and stuff. They also said that she said when she first met her then husband, TV producer Kevin Hunter, that he thought it was going to be a one-night stand with this gay obsessed person. Big Kev has never been more wrong about both things, she told the caller. First of all, I wasn't a one-night stand. Second of all, I was more dead on than he, as a person who used to listen when I did the top 8 at 8, was willing to give me credit for it. So yeah, I think you have to be on the inside more. So yeah, and that is true. Like once you are in the inside of the industry, you will see things. You will start to see that it is not only a boys club, but you will see that there's a lot of guys that you think that are like, oh yeah, I used to have a crush on I have a crush on so-and-so, and then you realize that secretly he on the damn low. It's like, you be finding out all the tea. Look, trust me, there's a boys club of ways that you will know, like, who is a homosexual and who isn't, because it is very much well known within this in industry circles, and you have to be in it in order to know who's who, basically. So they said the caller, with a bit of disbelief in her tone, concedes, saying, okay, I get it. But Williams interrupts her and says the caller does not have to agree with her analysis, saying you could choose to believe that everything's all hetero and all masculine. I choose to, the host said before the caller cut her off. And he says, I don't think that, but I just noticed you do a lot of the how you doing, and I love it. It's hilarious, but I was just wondering if you really think that, and if you think coffee's gay. Not coffee. Williams replied, you haven't gotten the memo? Wait, who's coffee? Was that? Oh, that must have been something from back in the day, because I don't remember. Look, this was 1998. Y'all could not expect me to remember who was who back then. Like all the people who was whatever. Remember back in the day when they had a gay rapper that was supposed to come out called Caution? And I believe he was supposed to be a part of, I think it was Kamora Lee was trying to come up with a label or something. He was supposed to be a part of. I remember when Caution, the gay rapper, and I remember that was a big thing back in the day. So I remember that. Whatever happened to him? So yeah, now she was fired from Hot 97 in 1998, with Williams suggesting during an interview with Howard Stern years later that Combs was largely responsible for her termination. Saying, I got exiled from New York by Hot 97, she told Stern in 2006. Now Williams said she sued the station and won, noting that the whole incident stemmed from homosexual rappers and exposing. Quote, did you get fired for making fun of Puffy? Williams was directly asked. You know what? Shout out to the older people, because y'all still call that man Puffy. Even to this day, y'all still call that man Puffy. She answered, listen, you figure it out. You do the music of what you're playing back in 1998 on the majority of every radio station 25 times an hour. Now, Combs' former security guard, Gene Deal, also seemed to confirm the claim in 2022, saying Diddy got one of the hottest DJs off of Hot 97 because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down. This is what Deal said according to Vibe. Now, radio host Charlamagne the God, who Williams was a mentor to, echoed the claim last year on Andrew Schultz's Flagrant podcast. Wendy's whole thing with Diddy was gay since the 90s. This is what he said. Wendy was throwing that out there. That's why Wendy got fired from Hot 97. He doubled down, adding, Wendy got fired from Hot 97 by Diddy because that's when Bad Boy was smoking hot. She got fired for putting that out there. Now, I've been telling y'all this for years. It's like not only with the whole thing about Diddy allegedly getting Wendy Williams fired because she kept how you doing to him in a lot of situations. And yeah, they did have beef because Wendy was like, I don't give a good goddamn. I'm standing 10 toes down on my stuff. You don't scare me. You may be able to bully other women, and you may be able to bully Cassie and all these other broads, but what you're not going to do is think you can bully me the way you be bullying all these other people in the industry that you have over the decades. And what people need to realize is like, yeah, Hot 97, it was all about radio and advertising and who's hot and who's popular. And yes, Bad Boy, whether you like Diddy or the music or whatever the case is, he ran New York. His music ran New York. He ran the radio stations. He ran MTV. He ran a lot of the things. And when you popular and people are bumping the music and the success and all that other stuff and the money is flowing and everything is coming in and the shareholders is happy, you think they're going to not fire Wendy Williams and go and keep Wendy Williams and just go with, oh, well, Wendy Williams out here, we're going to protect her? No, they came out their bottom line, and hence why she had to sue, and she said she won. So Diddy always been the devil. I've been telling y'all that for years too, but I'm glad that, the chickens have come home to roost and people actually starting to finally see the demon for who he is. So I say all this to say, y'all, what do y'all think of this story? Do you believe this? I mean, well, it's not about whether we believe it or not, but now you got the receipts of Wendy Williams, partially of the reason of why she was, I think one of the many reasons, but I think that he was the reason that she was fired from Hot 97 because she was throwing around them gay rumors about the diddler. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Ooh, excuse me. And Gabriel says 2 out of 10 in sports. That's the representation I want to say. Okay. Because I was sitting there when I be working on sports events, I be wondering who the homosexuals are. LL Cool J and Will Smith were both threatened by the presence of RuPaul simply because he. Okay. And I remember hearing stories about LL Cool J and Will Smith. So allegedly. So yeah. And I remember RuPaul telling that story too. That when he went on In the House, and how LL Cool J was acting towards him. I feel Lil Nas X will always be in the same category as Kevin Abstract and Saucy Santana now. Never taken serious musically, but at least they funny on the internet. Yeah. You know who I was really digging? I saw a video of earlier. A friend of mine sent me, and I got to post it on social media. He sent me a video of Duran Bernard basically voguing and did a dip. It was hilarious. And then he was like, because he was in a church choir robe, and it was up in there, it was like a big track playing. And then Duran got up there and started, doing the duck walk, and then he started, doing his voguing and all stuff, and then he did like one of the sign of the cross, and then did a dip. That had me cackling. So I'm like, I like Duran. First of all, he's talented. Second of all, he's funny. And he definitely puts on a good show. I remember there was also another clip I saw where he got so excited while he was performing that there was somebody there with a camera while, front row, and he was on the stage. And he got so excited while he was performing that he accidentally smacked the microphone stand, and the microphone went flying and hit the person in the head. He was like, "Oop." And then they handed him the mic back. So he be getting excited when he up there. Yes, Andy. I was gonna say Andy Cohen. Andy Bell just put out a new album, a solo album, because and when he's not with Erasure, he does put out solo music. I haven't heard it yet. You know whose album I was listening to yesterday that was pretty good, but although I'm like, girl, can you stop with the 1.5 or 2 minute or 2.5? Like the longest song on her album was 2.5 minutes. But I'm like, can y'all please stop with these TikTok length songs? I listened to the new Pink Pantheress album, and I was like, oh my god, this record is really good. I listened to it last night on my way home from work from the Knicks game, which, child, if you want to know anxiety inducing, that game last night. And shout out to Timothy Chalamet, because I was watching him the whole time. Well, not the whole time because I was working, but when I actually glanced where he was at, I was watching him the whole time because he really gets into them games. He be up out of his seat. He be squatting on the floor. He be like doing him and Spike Lee. Don't put them two together because they just going to irritate everybody with the way that they get so passionate and so into the game. But yeah, that game yesterday and how the Pistons made that freaking basket like down to the damn zero countdown, the clock. The ball bounced and then it went in. I'm like, the fuck? And then we went into overtime. Like, I don't know. The universe, they was playing in my face yesterday. So that game was crazy. But anyway, let's get back to the comments. Adam Lambert had been affected. Yeah, he has been affected. He's been shunned by mainstream media, radio, and we never hear from him anymore. You were the only person I heard talk about the app. Really? That's crazy. I don't remember who said this. It might have been the Swiftologist. Child, don't even get me started about the Switch out because I'm still kind of windmilling her on that Gaga video. But we'll continue. It might have been a Swiftologist, but someone said that record labels are afraid to push openly homosexual artists, so they'll have the Benson Boring Boone cosplay. Just believe it. I believe it. It's like they'd rather have some straight boy with no personality put on some tight ass outfit where he basically just you see his dick outline, which I don't mind because I wouldn't mind tugging on it, and then he'll tug on it every now and again and give us nothing as a performer, just vapidness. That's why I was laughing when somebody said that Benson Boone music literally sounds like the Voice audition music. Like it sounds like music on audition with to get on the Voice. So I kind of agree with that, though. That's what I said. For the most part, a lot of times when Swiftologist tells us, I agree. But when he went and did that whole praisation of Lady Gaga and discounting other performers and said nobody's really doing what artists, nobody's performing like Lady Gaga. I was like, okay. First of all, sir, you need to get out more. Number two, let's not do that because there are many artists out here who are giving what Gaga is giving, if not more, when it comes to their performances. Madonna over the decades, Beyonce, and FKA Twigs. These are the girls that are really pushing the boundaries of stage performance. So you know who also is, and I know some people found her weird and said her tour was terrible, but I definitely disagree because I think in an artist's mind, when Melanie Martinez did her last tour, I worked it. I thoroughly enjoyed all the crazy kooky little things that she had going on happening on the stage and the choreography and all. A lot of people weren't getting it, but I was liking it. I was like, I like all that weird left of center kookiness. The others be wanting a straightforward concert with people just up there singing and dancing. I'm like, no, you can give me performance art too. You can give me weird stuff going on the stage and how the stage changes and moves around and things shift. Like, I like all that weird stuff. Andy Bell was 2 rows behind me when I went. Well, damn, I'm like, you must have some good seats if you was if you had Andy Bell sitting 2 rows behind you. You said you thought did I ever say I didn't like her? I don't know. I probably have. But I was like, you know what? I did see it in my thing. So I was like, let me just give it a listen. I just think, what it was about her is I watched the interview with her and she kind of just irritated me because I'm like, you sound a little too pretentious. So I didn't give her a chance. So I was like, let me just listen to the album and see if it's good and I liked it. I was like, okay, it's good. I like the production. But I was like, I just don't like them short songs though. These little 1 minute and a half, 2 minute songs. I'm like, it's not even a song. Where's the structure? Where's the pre-chorus? Where's the chorus? Where's the bridge? Like I need it to take me higher. Not like Creed, but to take me high. Give me some euphoric highs and some, and take me through all of that. I don't like these little short ass songs. But anyway, y'all, let's move on. And where we go? Oh, all right. Let's talk about The View because apparently word on the curb, and this is according to the Daily Beast, and I saw that Nutmeg McCain responded. I still don't care about what that old big back Tesla-shaped heifer had to say about The View. It's like, girl, you just literally have sour grapes right now. You seem bitter that you're no longer on that show, even though you said, I'm left. If you left, then be gone. Be gone. Poof. Like, go away. Vamos. In the words of Ruby Rod. Buzz off, bitch. That girl gets on my damn nerves. But she always finds a way, because of The View, to dick ride off The View just to give herself some relevancy. She irritates my entire spirit. She makes my teeth itch. But anyway, let's get into this The View story. So apparently word on the curb is Disney CEO, if you believe the Daily Beast, as I said. Disney CEO Bob Iger and ABC News boss Alman Karamedovic, I don't want to mess up his name, Karamedovic, I think is how you say his name, have urged the hosts of the left-leaning daytime talk show host, well, they're not right-leaning, The View, to scale back their political commentary, particularly their frequent criticisms of President Trump, according to a report. The hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, former Trump aide Alyssa Farah Griffin, Anna Navarro, and Sarah Haynes, are known for dishing blunt take, well, not really, because they don't all be up in there. I feel like the more blunter of them is Sunny Hostin and Anna Navarro. Whoopi Goldberg will come in and say some stuff, but she's actually paying attention to what's going on with the panel. But Sarah and Alyssa, if they're not busy like jerking each other off, I don't think they really giving great commentary in regards of the political commentary. Quiet as it's kept, I just feel like a lot of y'all ain't really saying a bunch of damn nothing anyway. Like, y'all not really talking about the things that the people are talking about. But I realize you have a corporation that you have corporate bosses to answer to. You can only go but so in regards of what's going on politically and stuff. So y'all really can't have a real nuanced conversation. Hence why I go and I watch a lot of independent media. And for those of you who are interested in getting some real independent media, stuff, I will give y'all some people that I listen to or watch that you guys can check out as well. But they said the political rhetoric seemingly disturbed top executives such as Disney CEO Bob Iger, who should be focusing on revamping the MCU rather than what the hell they're talking about on The View anyway. But nevertheless, let's continue. And ABC News president Alman, the latter, I'm not going to say his name again, the last name, the latter of whom met with the host and The View's executive producer Brian Teta to suggest that they cool it. This is according to the Daily Beast. The women of The View, sources explain, weren't having it with the silly request and looked to just be doing their thing on the program, saying, quote, "This is what our audience wants. Isn't it going to look kind of bad if we're all of a sudden not talking about politics?" One source familiar with the meeting reportedly said of the host's response to the boss. ABC executives had previously pressured hosts over their Trump talk, with late-night host Jimmy Kimmel revealing in 2022 that the network's top boss asked him to tone it down when he began to regularly quip about Trump. Kimmel told the Naked Lunch podcast that he informed execs that he wouldn't let up on on the jokes, even if they fired him. And that's why I feel like I understand that you people, I'm thinking like, what is the point of all this? Like, why are you guys so hell-bent on trying to tell people not to criticize Trump at all? We already know the man is a snowflake. He is extremely sensitive. You can't say nothing, but he can call you every name in the book. He could just insult you. He could threaten you. He does all these things. He wants everybody to kiss his behind. And even the ones that are kissing the ring and bending the knee, it's still not enough. You won. They keep talking about popular vote, whatever. I'm calling BS on that. It just seems like to me, you still haven't it's still not enough. You're still not happy. So it's like, even if you give this man all the accolades in the world, it's still not enough for him. And it's just like, what is it going to take for you to just be satisfied? You'll never be. I don't think it'll take anything. Nothing ever satisfies this man. But how you going to sit up here and, yeah, like people, like every day they talk about Trump on The View. There's always something about the government and politics and things of that nature. And you expect them to all of a sudden just wake up one day and they're just doing what? 30 minutes of View Your Deal and Reddit stuff? Like, what are they going to talk about? Because I'll even go as far as saying, like, when Trump was in office, like what? It was like, yeah, it had to be about damn near 10 years ago. Damn, time flies. They've been heavy on the politics for a long time. So what do y'all expect them to talk about? Like, y'all, what are y'all worried about that he's gonna that it's gonna come after Disney and you're not gonna get a tax exempt or something or another? Like, I want to know what's the reason why all of a sudden y'all don't want to go in on Trump. Like, this is why I always say legacy media is just, if this story is true, it's a joke. So they said they eventually backed away from the ass. Now look, if they backing away from one person, then the six of you can all band together and pull a friends cast situation. And it's like, yeah, we're not backing down. Take it or leave it, or fire us. And I don't think they're going to fire all them ladies over there, because the reason why people like The View is because the chemistry is what it is. So if Whoopi and Joy and Anna and Sarah and Alyssa and Sunny all of a sudden disappear, and y'all going to bring in new people are like, what the hell is this? Who are these people? Harpo, who are these women? We don't want them. Bring them back. Bring back the old cast. If not, we jump in ship. Or you might as well just cancel the show, which will probably outrage a lot of people, particularly my parents. My parents love The View. They really do. They watch it every day. So now they said the Daily Beast report arrives as 60 Minutes faces increased scrutiny from CBS, with leadership examining what's included in upcoming episodes, despite the program typically operating independently as the network hopes to settle a lawsuit with Trump. And that's probably what it is. Now that I think about it, they're probably worrying about, oh, well, if they keep going so hard on Donald Trump, then Donald Trump is going to pull some frivolous BS and be like, oh, I'm going to sue ABC for bias. They're always picking on me and they're always saying stuff about me and I don't like it. So now I got to sue. God, he's such a freaking woman. He's a damn man baby. The biggest man baby I've ever seen. Can't take no kind of criticism. Well, you can't come out here and constantly do stuff to people and just expect them to just take it. And that's what you have to do. You have to fight back your bullies with the same rhetoric that they throw at you. So Allman, in his meeting with the View host and the show's producer, suggested the show lean into discussions outside politics, pointing to highly rated episodes with celebrity guests, sources told the Daily Beast. But what? Y'all want them to do more interviews with celebrity guests? Like, so if they don't do the politics, what do you expect them to talk about? A lot of what people like for The View is the hot topics. They do the hot topics, they bring out a celebrity guest, then they do their stupid View Your Deals at the end, and then that's it. But you can't, that's like Wendy Williams doing hot topics. And you tell her, oh, a little less on the hot topics and more on interviewing celebrities. I don't know if y'all noticed, but back when Wendy Williams had a talk show, we didn't watch Wendy Williams for the guests. We didn't care about the guests. We could literally sit there and watch Wendy Williams sit there in that purple chair and just talk about celebrities all day, and we be having a key. It wasn't even about the people. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, these celebrities are born any damn way. So I could care less about some A-list, B-list, C-list, or a D-list celebrity that came and sat up at their table. We like the banter between, well, the reason why people watch The View is because they want to hear what the View co-hosts have to say on certain hot topics that are affecting the country. If you want people over there that look, Trump got his many network, News Nation, Fox News, them dumb broads over there that do that show with Anna Kasparian where they trying to do their version, a conservative version of The View. Child, I noticed some numbers is going down. The other numbers was major in the first episode, and that was because people was curious. But when you look, every time they drop a new episode, their numbers get lower and lower and lower and lower. People are already just like, okay, y'all ain't got nothing to say. The grift already, we see through it, and they're moving on. So if y'all want the people who want to kiss his behind, and y'all create your own little shows that could do that. So they said that the meeting was reportedly seen less as an edict by the network, but nonetheless, it disturbed the host. Navarro went on to talk with Iger last week about the request, and after she expressed her gratitude for Disney continuing to give the host a platform in a politically turbulent environment, he signaled his support for the show before suggesting they tone down its political rhetoric. Now, reps for ABC News, Disney, and Navarro did not respond to the Daily Beast's request for comment. And I guess if you want to see the outlet's report, you can go over to the thing, which is, I couldn't even go in there because I went to the Daily Beast. I think they want you to like pay to read. I was like, I'm not doing that. Look, if you want people to pay for your stuff, then y'all need to create Substacks or whatever, where they can do subscriptions. But I'm not sitting there paying to read an article. But look, to wrap all this up, this is exactly why I watch independent media conglomerates, because I can't with the oligarchs and the corporate people like the Bob Igers, whatever, who's going to sit up here and try to tell me what I can and cannot talk about. Because when that goes on to happen, this is how a lot of newscasters either get fired because they're willing to go against the status quo and to speak out, speak truth to power, and then they end up getting fired. Or you get in certain situations where there was somebody who was at what was it, CBS, and worked at 60 Minutes, who they were being challenged because of the Trump administration trying to control what they're talking about over there, and corporate people at the top are getting scared. So now they're like, you know what, I can't work here because they're not going to let me do what I need to do as my job that I've been doing for 4 decades plus. And now y'all coming in because of this regime. You're trying to tell me what I can and cannot do when I've been able to freely bring unbiased situations to the masses for over, the many years that I've been working here. So yeah, legacy media is dying. And a lot of these corporate bosses are more interested in bending the knee to Trump out of fear he will retaliate against them with some frivolous lawsuit than holding him accountable for what his administration is doing to the American people. So he wants to continue to dismantle our government. I'm already hearing that rural areas about to be affected from him closing at least over 700 hospitals. They're trying to pass a bill for that. We're about to enter an existential crisis, or we're already in the midst of it. You just ain't feeling it yet. So you really have to get you guys, if you really want to know what's going on, because a lot of times these corporations, these big major networks are trying to keep everybody in the boat. We have places that aren't even aware of storm watches, tornado watches. A lot of that has been dismantled. People are dying out here. You had the current administration take legal immigrants, 50 of them, and ship them to a damn concentration camp. This is what's going on, but y'all not hearing it because y'all are going over there watching legacy media. Hence why I always tell people, watch Kyle Kalinske of Secular Talk. Check out The Vanguard. Go see I Hit News, a.k.a. I've Had It. That's what they call it also. Sabby Sabs is another good one. The Midas Touch is another good one. They're the ones that surpassed, subscribers. They surpassed Joe Rogan. And every now and again, I watch Don Lemon. Because, Don Lemon is no longer part of, legacy media, but now he does YouTube. But I still feel like he's still a little bit over there in that centrist Democrat idea, like mentality or whatever. He kind of gives that. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, really check out Kyle Kalinske and Secular Talk. He dropped a video today that I did post on YouTube, where it was like the real thing that they don't want y'all to know about Luigi Mangione and United Healthcare and a lot of stuff that they're doing. Like there was the shareholders were mad at United Healthcare because they weren't denying even more people healthcare. That story came out today. So definitely, if you really want to know what the hell's going on, and a lot of times what irritates, what I love, but also is disappointed, that he is the only one that sits and reports on certain topics, kind of like what Onyx said about me. I was the only one that told about Adam Lambert's EP. I'm like, well, damn, sometimes it's lonely out in these streets when there's something that's really good that people need to be informed on, and you're the only one talking about it when so many other people should be talking about it too. It's still, instead of still, when you have certain pundits that still want to talk about why the Democrats lost and you know, things of that nature and what you know, it's like, okay, screw them. We already know AOC is the future of the party. Literally, polls have stated this. She is literally the face of the party. They wanted to make it Elisa Slotkin. Nobody cares about that dry, boring broad. She is a freaking dino, freaking Democrat in name only. Nobody cares about Cory Booker. He's a traitor. He just voted Jared Kushner's father into a political position. The only Democrat that did that. So he's a clown. He's done. I've been saying that for a while too, and I'm glad people are waking up to that. And then there was, but what about the whole thing about that? Was all political theater. That was all political theater. I never bought into it from the beginning, and I was like, that's probably why Rosario Dawson left his fat ass, because he is not a real Democrat either. I don't care about that Hakeem Jeffries. He's another one that's fake. And don't even get me started on that damn traitor Chuck Schumer. So, but these are the people that The View likes to prop up. The Elise Slotkins, the Hakeem Jeffries, the Chuck Schumers, who they should have went in even harder on him when he went and decided to vote in favor of Trump. But I don't think they went hard enough. The only one that really went and windmill on him a little harder than the rest was Sonny Hostin. She was the only one. But the other ones was like, then you had that traitor, Sarah Haynes, who you can't tell me your ass ain't vote for Trump. Sit there, Donald. Yeah, you did the right thing. I was like, okay, dummy. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't trust you either. So I like the ladies of The View for the most part. I like some of the stuff they say. I do watch The View every now and again. But for the most part, I say, if I don't go to them for my politics. I look at them as entertainment because they don't really know what the hell they talking about unless somebody writes it for them on a damn cue card. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story with the word being on the curb, that they're being told to tone down the political rhetoric, as they call it over there on The View? If they don't tone it down, which I heard that after this story came out that they have continued to go even harder on Trump. So that's the word on the curb. So do y'all think that this may be the end of The View? I'm sure that a lot of the people that hate The View and all the stuff, you know, a lot of the Trump supporters and right wingers and stuff will be glad when this show goes off. But I honestly don't think that The View is going to leave. First of all, it's the #1 show on ABC, so they make a ton of money. But if it starts to affect corporate sponsorship, I'm sure then that, you know, that there may be some changes. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, so let's see what the people are saying. Nicola Roberts might replace animatronic after a standing ovation at the Scissor Sisters show during a duet of Take Your Mama and Tits on the Radio and doing Call the Shots in memory of, well, look, Scissor Sisters is supposed to be opening for Kesha. Hopefully I get to work that shift because I definitely want that gig. But if Nicola Roberts is able to come on board because animatronic can't be there, I'd be here for it. Although I know the fans gonna be like, we want animatronic. But they do need a female to be on stage with them. It's kind of like, I just hope that it won't feel like, oh, it's not the same. Kind of like when, you know, Fergie wasn't with the Black Eyed Peas anymore and they just tried to bring in that other chick and it was just like, we're not feeling it. We like Fergie, and hopefully Fergie comes to her senses and will decide to come back to the Black Eyed Peas, because that chemistry was good with them. But look, if Girls Aloud could actually do some of their songs, I mean, they could do some Girls Aloud songs during their set. That would be interesting. Been watching The View since '97. This is definitely They do. I think they do hammer it a bit too much on the Trump stuff, but they do need to kind of. I mean, they can if you can't just all of a sudden one day come on and be like, okay, they're not talking about Trump at all. But if you want to do like a real transition, what they need to do is come up with interesting topics for the ladies to talk about. The problem is when you got Whoopi Goldberg sitting there acting so uninterested in a lot of the topics they talk about. But I'm like, sis, if you just gonna phone it in and you're not interested in the hot topics, then maybe you need to leave. Like, don't just be here for the check. There hasn't been negative press since Megan left, so that could tell you something. Well, Nutmeg was the only look. She was the one person on that show that was really polarizing. So that was a great thing, I guess, that when it came down to us talking about it. So, they really haven't had any negative press because to me it always seems like Alyssa doesn't really push too hard. There's certain situations that they do. I think it was when they were talking about Biden's cognitive state. It kind of got a little heated. And I think it was on a Friday episode because Joy Behar was was sitting there on the panel as the moderator. So they did get a bit tense where Anna and Sonny had to basically scold Sarah and Alyssa in that situation where they were talking about Biden and all the other mess. Which also I should point out, I saw that clip on Luke Beasley. He has a podcast. I'm sure y'all know this. He did that. He covered that story. So that's how I saw it. But I didn't see the actual episode because I was like, wait, did I miss an episode? Probably did. You said I watched The View with my mom when I'm at. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. My parents watch The View. They use my Hulu, so they stay watching The View. I have my parents on a lot of my streaming services. I even just put my father's brother on Paramount Plus because he was like, "You got Paramount Plus?" And my father decided to discuss with me. He was like, "So I'm adding people on stuff." But I know like they're starting to crack down on a lot of the Paramount Plus stuff. Speaking of which, we're a couple hours away from the new episode of All Stars. Can't wait. 2 hours and 15 minutes to be exact, because it's 9:46 on the East Coast. And he said the problem, my friend said, with independent media is they cuss too much and wear what they want. And basically, it's like, wait, is it a problem? I don't see the problem. Look, I'm independent media. I'm wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants. That's what I got on right now. But yeah, I think the thing that people like about independent media is that it's like regular people with personalities. I'm talking to you like a regular person. I'm not speaking to you with media jargon and all that other stuff. Like I've gotten, for years I've been, I'm a journalist or whatever. Like we don't speak journalistic language. We actually come at you and speak to you like regular people. And I think that's what people want. People want people they can relate to. So that's why I guess that's the good thing about social media, independent media, that sort of thing. But it's like, what's wrong with cussing? Because I'm like, well, look, it is a problem, I guess, with the algorithms. Because they don't like when we cuss too much. Although there's people that curse way more than me that aren't affected, I guess. But, yeah, independent media is good. But people need to, and the question I was wondering too, I was like, when I get to the place that, because I've always had this dream of like, when I get enough money and I get enough followers and viewers and all that other stuff, that I've always wanted to build my own studio. It's having to go somewhere because one of the people that I've always found as inspiration, John Campbell, was like that. And then at one point he decided, we're gonna rent a studio. I'm looking at him like, why would you do that? First of all, you gotta pay money to be renting out a space or an office and all that other stuff. Then after a while, he went back to his garage and started doing it there again. But it's like, if you have the ability to just take something, and then I'm hearing Funky Dineva been revealing on his show that he's turned his basement, and T.S. Madison started that, so shout out to her. But how T.S. Madison turned her basement into a studio, where she does her fag talk, and now Funky Dineva is turning his basement into a studio, and was kind of giving people an AI mock-up. He showed that, and then the overall the paint job and all the other stuff, and how he said he spent $50,000, which I'm like, that's good. I would pay that much, 50 to 100K to like build the studio, have all the top stuff there. I'd have one producer who mans all the the cameras and everything. You do all the technical stuff. I just be the personality, and I just have like maybe two people work for me. One that handles the technical stuff, the one that does the online stuff, and I'm just at my desk, and I'm basically just having to focus on the topics at hand, being a personality, and all that other stuff. So that's the dream. But the question is, would I have to get all dressed up? Because if I'm gonna be on camera, and y'all might be able to see me like I'm sitting at a table and head to toe on something, I don't want to come on looking sloppy. Like, oh, you got on a pair of sweatpants, a t-shirt, and some damn Crocs. Like, I don't want to be that messy. Like, I'm like, damn, does that mean I got to come with a whole wardrobe to show off like like I'm taking it seriously? Just some thoughts. All right, so let's get into this mess. All right, so let's talk about Tory Lanez. Well, apparently he's been transferred to another prison because after he got carved up like he was Chad Meeks Martin. So it looks like that he's getting a change of scenery. After that whole little starvation situation happened by an inmate who I believe is serving life in prison. So Tory Lanez's father, Sunstar Peterson, joined News Nation's Cuomo hosted by Chris Cuomo. God, I don't like him in that damn show. Well, I don't like Chris Cuomo as of late. I used to like him when he was on CNN, but ever since he left and went to News Nation and stuff, he's just been propagandized and all this other stuff. And he's been saying a lot of stuff that's just dumb and doesn't make any sense. And don't even get me started on his damn brother. It'd be a cold day in hell before I ever vote for Andrew damn Cuomo. I've already got Zora Mamdani. That is who my choice is to be mayor of New York. We need to get out that other, field slave. What the hell's his name? Eric Adams. I can't stand him. So yeah, on Wednesday, May 21st, so that was yesterday, he appeared on News Nation's Cuomo when he revealed that his son is being transferred to a new prison after being knifed up while in prison earlier this month. Now, Peterson explained that Lanez isn't receiving any special treatment, but the move is part of California's prison protocol following an act of violence, saying, quote, he's been moved because it's part of the prison's protocol that when a situation like this happens, they believe it's better for him to be in another facility. And so he's being moved as we speak. One thing, of course, we are concerned about it because my son is a high profile person. And when things like this happen, there's always some kind of weird news going out trying to spin it to be something else. Now, Lanez, as y'all may be aware, was attacked on May 12th by another inmate in California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi around 7:20 in the morning, Pacific time. So that would be about 10 a.m., 10:20 a.m. Eastern time. Of course, I had to do the math because, I'm on the East Coast. And they said he was rushed to a nearby hospital. A spokesperson for the prison told ABC News. A message posted to the singer's verified Instagram account said he suffered a pair of collapsed lungs and was stabbed 14 times in total, but was in good spirits while recovering. Now, Lane's father says that when he arrived at the hospital, he spoke to correctional officers who claimed they were surprised that the singer was involved in an altercation because Tory, according to his dad, is someone who is liked. He's not someone who is a troublemaker. So I don't think that Tory was in jail starting mess with somebody. I think what happened was you had somebody that was behind bars that had something to prove and decided, I just want to jump in and make a name for myself or do something. So I'm going to go cut this kid up. So that's what I'm thinking was going on. The Toronto native is currently serving a 10-year sentence in prison after being convicted on 3 felony accounts tied to his pow-powing Megan Thee Stallion in defeat during an argument outside of a Hollywood Hills party in July of 2020. Between the stabbing and claims of new evidence, Lane's case is picking up steam once again. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna of Florida's 13th district called for California Governor Newsom to pardon Lane. Child, don't get on my line with that. With Gavin Newsom, because Gavin is a damn joke. That's somebody else. Sorry, y'all out in LA people, y'all need to vote him out as the governor. He is a clown. He don't care about y'all. United People attorney Walter Roberts claimed that Kelsey Harris' bodyguard Bradley James filed an affidavit saying he overheard Harris admit to firing the weapon and not Lanez. Well, and then Megan posted a message to her TikTok calling Lanez a demon and pushed back against the hate she received in recent weeks regarding the shooting case, while SZA also came to Meg's defense, saying, in caps, facts are real. He did it. It was proven in court, she wrote in part. Ain't no new effing evidence. Y'all been saying the same ish for years. Well, and I did post it in my article. Megan's legal team also released a report on Thursday, May 22nd, pushing back the claims of new evidence and support from Tory fans, arguing that the findings are filled with false narratives and foolish bullies. And look, I told you I had receipts because I got them right here. So they want to come out here and start claiming, oh, he ain't do it. It's all here. No, y'all just go by hearsay and calling that as fact. So yeah, Harris September 14, 2022 interview with prosecutors. Now on September 14, 2022, since y'all want a receipt, I'm going to give you one. Harris, in the presence of her attorney and husband, participated in a recorded interview with prosecutors and an investigator. Harris admitted to prosecutors that she witnessed Peterson pow the gun, definitely in Miss Pete's direction. Harris confirmed Peterson offered her and Pete $1 million to stay silent. Since y'all need a receipt, I gotta give you one. Now, ring footage. Peterson's team has recently claimed that they have obtained ring footage that supposedly exonerates Peterson. Not so. Ring audio is not new. It was admitted in the evidence at trial as trial exhibit number 12 and was considered by the jury. Now, the unsworn rumors being spread as fact. Now, Bradley James, allegedly a former bodyguard of Harris, claimed overheard Harris admit to powering the firearm. But James was not an eyewitness to the shooting. He was not present at the scene of the crime. So how the hell how you gonna come out with hearsay and say these things when you weren't there? People need to pay attention to the evidence. Facts are facts. Feelings are not facts. But facts are facts. James has never provided sworn testimony to being subject to cross-examination. James has not publicly addressed these claims himself. Peterson's attorney team merely alleges what James says. So we're going to base off allegedly or allegations and not facts. Despite being cited as a key source, James failed to appear at the press conference to support the allegations. So if they're saying key source and he knows this stuff and knows that stuff, then why didn't he appear in the press conference? Why is it that you have these people stand up here with a mic and a stand and a bunch of cameras spewing all this vitriol, but the person who you're saying is this key witness that heard all of this, where is he? And how come the paperwork hasn't been filed? I mentioned that the last time we talked about this. Unsworn rumors versus sworn testimony. Unsworn rumors. Daystar Peterson, Milagro Cooper, and Bradley James. Inconsistent with evidence, never testified, and did not swear under penalty of perjury to tell the truth. Sworn testimony. Megan Pete, Dr. Lee Haruno, Detective Jody Little, Randy Zapata, who was an LAPD criminalist, Srinvasan, okay, I don't know how to say that name. Rathanam, sorry if I butchered it. LAFD firearms examiner and Emil Holland Briggs. They said consistent with evidence, has testified, has sworn under penalty of perjury to tell the truth. So the jury, to point out one more time, they unanimously found Peterson guilty based on the facts, which we have to say in caps, facts. Let's say it together as a family. Our facts, our facts. F-A-C-T, and don't forget the S. And what are that called? Those are the facts. Now, not unsubstantiated claims. You cannot go around and say that unsubstantiated claims is valid. It's not. And not, especially not in the court of law. And then they also said that his lies have evolved over the years. The first lie, he initially claimed that Pete was never shot, but stepped on broken glass. Second lie, at trial, Peterson's lawyers argued that Harris, not Peterson, was the power. Third lie, Peterson claimed the LAPD lost or misplaced the firearm and bullet fragments. So They also said that on September 25th, 2020, Peterson admitted himself publicly that Harris did not pow Pete. So you can't keep saying that she did it, then you go back and say she didn't do it, and then she did it again. So your story keeps changing. And that's the one thing about lies. Lies are hard to keep up with. And then they said that Dr. Lee Harun, and y'all seem to forget too, that, okay, now if I go to the doctor and I've got fragments in my foot, you don't think that those things are going to be done by a medical examiner? They're not going to take those fragments out and they're going to have somebody examine it and see exactly what it is. Like, you know, like when you look at crime scenes and this, that, and the other, and CSI, like, and all that mess, crime scenes tell a story, and it's up to the storytellers or the people that are there to figure out what the story is and bring it to a court of law if there's a case. So Dr. Lee Haruna of Cedars-Sinai Medical Center's Orthopedic Surgery Department testified that surgery was necessary to remove bullet fragments from Miss Pete's foot. So if she stepped on glass, then you would be removing glass from the foot. Where the hell did the bullet fragments come from? This goes to show that y'all just want to be out here and believe lies because you hate Megan Thee Stallion. And because you like Tory Lanez. Quiet as it's kept, I don't even think that people who are fighting for Tory Lanez even know any of his damn music or even listen to it. Then they said the third lie, the LAPD lost and misplaced the gun and bullet fragments. So he claimed that Peterson claimed the LAPD lost or misplaced the firearm and bullet fragments. The truth was that the firearm magazine, bullet casings, and bullet fragments remain in the LAPD custody. So how did they lose it when they have it? So, like I said, he couldn't keep his lies straight. Then they said later that evening on July 12, 2020, Peterson texts Pete apologizing for pow-powing her. And they had the text messages. So, how you going to sit up in here and say that you didn't do it when you openly admitted in text messages what you did? They said that his DNA was not on the gun. DNA evidence shows that DNA on the gun came from a man, not a woman. Or Harris's, I should say. That her fragments or fingerprints and DNA and the things was not on the gun. But it said that the DNA on the gun came from a man. He was the only man there. Then he also said that he tried to buy silence through bribes, which we already talked about that. He tried to bribe them $1 million and not say anything. But didn't the city of California try him? Like, Megan didn't come forward with this, but they still blame her. And then they said Pete told police that she stepped on glass because she wanted to de-escalate the situation and prevent the police from using force against Peterson. So she even lied to protect him. But y'all don't want to give her that credit. What y'all want to do is y'all want to blame her because it's easy to blame a woman. It's easy to point fingers at a woman. So it's like, at what point do y'all protect women, especially black women? Y'all be out here protecting these bums and these incels and criminals. Y'all will go hard for him before y'all even go for protecting the one person and it always comes down to it that women are the ones who will protect them because they understand how the system is and how they treat black men. So the women will automatically go into this defense mode of trying to protect the man from, even though he the one that caused harm to them, which is kind of crazy. But this is the mentality that people have. And now everybody's out here saying all these things and picking on Megan and constantly bringing this thing up. So we just need to put this damn thing to bed. Look, they did what they did. They did the court case. They had the evidence they needed against him. His lies switched up many times and more times. And then Megan would do costume changes at her concerts. And people still gonna believe what they want to believe. So even with me bringing y'all the evidence and showing it to you, the receipts and everything, I already know there's some of y'all that's gonna believe what y'all want to believe. And look, this ain't for you. This show, this episode, this clip, whatever, is not for you. And that's fine. You can continue to live in your little bubble. You continue to believe the BS that you want to believe. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. All I am here to do is tell the story, bring in the facts, and you do with it as you will. But if you still want to live in that little bubble, and I'm telling you the sky's blue, and you're going to tell me the shit's green, then okay, there's mental houses for people like you. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of, yeah, Tory got moved to a new prison, and then people still out here campaigning to free him. He ain't going no damn where. So y'all can keep shouting from the rooftops and want him out. He ain't going nowhere. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So now let's move on. Let's talk about Miss Jackson, because it looks like that her residency is not doing too well. It seems like a lot of people are not really doing well with their concerts and residencies and things. So now a report is coming out, I believe in the U.S. Sun, by the way, that Miss Jackson herself is struggling to sell them tickets over there at that residency. Excuse me. And they said about 60% of seats are still available for Wednesday night's premiere performance. The iconic pop star and sister to the late Michael Jackson previously completed a sold-out 10-day residency from December through January of this year at Resorts World. The Vegas hotel signed on to bring Janet 59 back for a shorter run in February. That stretched over Valentine's Day, and then again this week from May 21st through May 31st with 6 shows. But with the big opening night just one day away, well, now it's the day after because this was for yesterday's show. Now we're in Thursday, so I don't even know how well the show did. If they were able to fill up those seats, but they said ticket sales on AXS show, a majority of seats in the 5,000 person venue is still available. The other dates do not look much more packed than the premiere. Prices range just above $50 to $444 a seat, according to the ticketing site. Say, if you're going to meet the That's the Way Love Goes songstress, you may be out of luck. None of the VIP packages appear to offer a meet and greet. You will, however, receive orchestra seats and a photo opportunity on the hotel steps and repeat. Whoop-de-doo. The famed hotel on the Strip heralded Janet's run, saying that she was bringing her residency. She can't even talk. She was bringing her residency there on the heels of her highly successful Together Again tour. The megastar will bring Janet Jackson Las Vegas to the one-of-a-kind venue for performances throughout 2025. Now, the hotel's venue site boasted that Janet is one of the most influential entertainers of all of the modern era. Her music has won 5 Grammy Awards, 2 Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe Award, a nomination for an Academy Award, 2 dozen American Music Awards, MTV VMA, and Billboard Music Awards. And look, she's expected to be performing this weekend, right? Isn't the American Music Awards this weekend? She's supposed to be getting the Icon Award, and she's supposed to perform, I believe, also. So Janet gonna be out here performing. So now, a rep for Janet did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Now, Janet, 58, began her residency in December with an impressive 2-hour show that showcased her extensive catalog of hits. She performed an incredible 43 songs. They were probably all medleys, including Young Love, which she hasn't sung live in over a decade. This residency follows her Together Again tour, which included 35 performances. A source revealed to the U.S. Sun that the potential miniseries would explore. Oh, wait. I said, wait, they didn't even bring this. Oh, yeah. So apparently, what y'all should know, and I think they must have messed up in this article, is how y'all bring up the miniseries before you even brought up what was going on. Because apparently, word on the street is Janet Jackson is supposed to be getting a miniseries based on her life. Nobody knows when it's going to happen, but the rumor is that her biopic or bio series, whatever you want to call it, she wants to do it right after the Michael biopic comes out, which I do have news on that in the next segment because the Michael Jackson biopic was supposed to come out next year, but it's been delayed. So I do have the exact time of when they're talking about when it's supposed to be coming out because I guess they need to reshoot the third act because I already probably know what happened is that apparently there was a clause in the situation that one of the children that Michael settled with that accused them of molesting them, that case was not supposed to be mentioned in public. So you couldn't have shot the movie with this whole thing being your third act. So now they got to scrap everything. Well, they had to scrap the third act and they had to reshoot it. That's the story. So yeah, there are discussions about her biopic and that sort of thing, which is great. But here's the thing about Janet. I like you, Janet. I think you're immensely talented. You are an icon. You have basically influenced a lot of the girls. I'm sure, Beyonce's been influenced by you. Sierra's been influenced by you. There's a little influence from Britney, which I heard that Britney was hurt, by the way, from what Lizzo big back ass had to say about her, talking about she, basically in so many words, a Janet clone. And that's what she said. No, she was influenced by Janet, but Britney is her own artist. Britney was not literally out here cosplaying Janet, just like you trying to cosplay being a real musician. So, in regards to this whole situation, I know, look, times is tough. There's a lot of people out here who are struggling to sell tickets, and it's no shade. I like Janet, but I just feel like musically, and I've said this time and time again, I don't feel like her stage shows have evolved. I don't feel like what she's done is anything new or different. She gives you the same show over and over. So it's like, if I buy a ticket to a Janet show, I already know what to expect going to see Janet on the stage. Same thing. Yeah, she switches up the songs every now and again, but she don't never change the tempo or the key of the song she does. She basically sings her songs in medleys now. It's not like the full damn song. And it's the same old choreography. It's like, yeah, she looked good, and I'm glad at 59 she's still up there dancing with the best of them and giving full-out choreography. Nobody's hating on her over that, but I need a little something different from her. Also, I don't know if I'd be wanting to spend $500 or something on a damn ticket, and I ain't getting no meet and greet, especially if you're doing Vegas, and the capacity is 5,000, which is literally how that's the capacity of the theater at Madison Square Garden. Like, literally, our capacity is 5,000 people you could fit in that small theater. So I can imagine like what that whole setting and stuff looks like. And I'm rooting for Janet out here and stuff, but I just wish that she would give people a little more with her shows than just doing the same old 1-2 step and the same old thing over and over. But if y'all happen to go to that show in Vegas, I need people to fan out and let me know if she was able to fill up a lot of those seats, because this story was before she was able to do that show. So I definitely want to know if she was able to, fill up the place and sell tickets, and if the show did well. Because the same thing, like when we talk about Beyonce. Beyonce was struggling to get a lot of those tickets sold and stuff, but once they dropped the price down to like $30, she was able to accumulate and sell a lot of the stadium. And that's why I think the part that people don't want to bring up is that, oh, look, y'all keep saying she ain't sell out. She ain't sell out. Nobody bought them tickets. And I'm like, yeah, but when you go on AXS and SeatGeek or whatever the case is and Ticketmaster, and they drop the prices down to a reasonable price the day of, yeah, you're going to sell out. That happens all the time. It happens at arena shows that I've worked. It happens at stadium shows that I've worked. So when I'm telling y'all, this is like, don't sit up here and try to act like that people are hating. This is the reality. Nobody's just coming out here and just all of a sudden pulling celebrities out there behind and being like, oh yeah, they're struggling to sell tickets. So when they bring up Katy Perry, when we bring up Janet Jackson, we bring up Beyonce, we bring up, I've heard stories about Gaga's tickets not selling all that well either. So when you bring all these people up, y'all thinking that we're just hating. It's like, can't you just listen to the story and just understand that, yes, people are struggling. And I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that maybe nobody cares about seeing their show. It's the ongoing issue of like, tickets are too freaking expensive. A lot of these middlemen are coming in and jacking up these prices, especially when you got scalpers. And people can, like, we're about to hit a depression and a recession, and especially with this crazy administration, and it's going to affect the live industry, which got me worried because that's my bread and butter. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Miss Jackson and the struggling to sell tickets at the Residency, even though it's going to be a couple of shows, but still, a struggle is a struggle. I don't think it'll be as bad as a struggle as Katy Perry's Residency in Vegas, how bad that was. And I had people in the comments commenting about that show and saying, yeah, it was just like, it literally looked like a show that was designed for 4-year-olds. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I was like, shit, why is my stomach? Like, I coughed and my abs was hurting. And I was like, wait, why is my stomach hurting? I realized because it was like I was doing ab workouts yesterday at the gym. I was like, oh, that's why it hurts. It's that pain, child. But anyway, let's see. What are the people saying? Felix says, I love Janet, but her shows are so predictable now. She keeps doing the same show. People could just watch her old tours. Okay. And you said on Monday. Oh, you said she shouldn't have done it a third time. I refuse to watch any recent performances from her. I'll keep watching the Velvet Rope. See, and look, and everybody's saying it. And maybe it's like, yeah, you keep doing a show, you stop, disappear for a couple of weeks or months, and then you come back and do the same shit. So it's like people already know what to expect, and you realize when you do that, the people who wanted to see Janet already saw Janet, and then on top of that, the tourists. I heard like the tourism in Vegas is down bad, so that could also be a factor. A little influence in Britney, way more than a little. You can look at her music videos, choreography, and performances, and not see Janet influences. Britney influenced more by her than Bey. You said big question is where is y'all still waiting for that album? It ain't coming. Britney's main influences Madonna and Janet. Guess Black Diamond was scrapped, or maybe she might put out an anthology collection and maybe call it that. She probably didn't want to do the right. It's kind of like where's Rihanna's album? Y'all are still waiting on it. I moved on. People said that about Madonna too, that she doesn't sell out her shows, but she does sell them out. From my understanding, Resort World Las Vegas isn't on the main strip. It's by Fremont Street, so it doesn't get the kind of traffic being close to downtown Las Vegas. Oh, okay. He said, I also heard, oh, the Europeans don't care for Miss Jackson anymore. What's going on? Okay. All right, y'all. Now, speaking of Jackson, let's go from Janet to Michael. So apparently the word on the curb is, and this is the trades, like the varieties, the deadlines, and all of them that are reporting this, that Michael Jackson's biopic is getting a delay, which I think we all kind of figured that's where it was going to go, but nevertheless, it has officially been confirmed. So yeah, Michael Jackson fans are like, you got to wait a little bit longer for Antoine Fuqua's biopic, Michael. So Lionsgate Studios is moving the release of anticipated biopic Michael from this fall, to its fiscal. Why we gotta wait till 2027? Now that's way too long of a wait. So yeah, it was supposed to come out this fall. I think it was supposed to. They were talking about moving in 2026, but no, they moved it 2 years. So they said the company's fiscal year 2026 just started in April, saying, "quote In regard to our Michael Jackson biopic, we're excited about the not 3.5 hours." They said 3.5 hours of amazing footage from producer Graham King and director Antoine Fuqua, and we'll be announcing a definitive release strategy and timing in the next few weeks. I would note that it is likely we will move Michael out of the fiscal year, which will impact fiscal 26 financial results, but will bolster an already strong fiscal 27 state. This is with CEO John Feldheimer on a conference call, with financial analysts after quarterly earnings. They were the company's first as a standalone after splitting with Starz earlier this month. Oh yeah, so now there's a word that when other Lionsgate and Starz have split. And so Lionsgate's doing their own thing, Starz doing their own thing. But the thing with Starz is, I don't know why Starz is around. I don't know anybody that watches Starz. I don't even watch Starz. I used to watch Starz, but to be honest, there's really nothing on that streaming service. I mean, what? Power? Like, that's all y'all have? And majority of those shows is done. So Starz ain't really popping in regards of like cable channels or streaming situations that people watch. Like, people watch HBO, you have Showtime, you have Cinemax. Although I think like, well, Showtime comes with Paramount Plus. And, I have HBO Max. So, but yeah, nobody's really thinking about Starz like that. I don't even know why Starz is still around. But anyway. So they said Michael was first set for April and most recently October 3rd, although it didn't seem likely it would make that date. Deadline reports out of CinemaCon last month that given the length of the cut, the film would be split into 2 movies, although there was nothing definitive. Lionsgate didn't show footage of Michael at the event. The film, which stars Jackson's nephew and Jermaine Jackson's son Jafar Jackson in the title role, Coleman Domingo plays Joe Jackson and Nia Long as Catherine. And while I am excited to see Michael, I definitely want to check this movie out when it comes out. Unfortunately, it's like, damn, we got to wait till 2027 and 3.5 hours. How they gonna make that work? Like, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to show a damn near 4 hour movie. I mean, I already heard that Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, is almost 3 hours. And we've already pushed the envelope a little bit where you can go to theaters and you can watch a 3 hour movie and it doesn't feel in a way like a 3 hour movie. However, 3.5 going on 4 is pushing it. That's like half your day in the theater. And on top of that, it ain't even just the 3.5 hours I'm worried about. It's the damn 20-minute trailers or 30-minute trailers, depending, on top of the 3.5. So I'm gonna be in the theater for 4 hours. Because if you add the trailer on the 3.5, yeah, you're pretty much in the theater for 4 hours watching it. And I need an intermission, because sorry, I'm at a point in my life that, yeah, in the middle of movies, I go to the bathroom. I did that recently with Final Destination Bloodlines. I had to run to the bathroom when she was doing her little Randy Meeks moment where she had to map out the book that she got from the grandmother. I was like, okay, I gotta run to the bathroom real quick. So I had to run out of Dolby across, like, past concession to get to the bathroom. Because it's like, yeah, with the amount of, like, I'll be drinking, first of all, coffee always makes me go to the bathroom because I had a big thing of Starbucks before I went and watched the movie. And then sometimes, like, yeah, I'll get popcorn, soda, and stuff, and that all of that makes you go to the bathroom. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to sit here and hold this. When I went to see Thunderbolts, I had to do a bathroom break. So yeah, I'm at a point now that it's like I can't sit through a whole movie and not have to pee. So that's the way it's happening. And, and I don't know if it's just me, but it's like movies are getting longer and longer. So y'all may have to bring the intermission back when it comes to movies. Kind of like, when you go to the theater and you see a play, a Broadway play, y'all gonna have to start bringing the intermissions. Y'all gonna do these long freaking movies. So I still let's say, what do you guys think of this story? You bummed that you're gonna have to wait till 2027, excuse me, allegedly, because it hasn't been confirmed, like the actual date and stuff, but they're saying they may have to push it for their fiscal year. Are you bummed that, yeah, the Michael Jackson biopic has been pushed to 2027? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Once. Also, could we be honest? Racism played a huge hand in the mentorship of Britney and Janet wasn't allowed because, God forbid, a white girl is influenced by Black culture. So that's why Madonna and Britney. But there was also racism and misogyny that played into Janet Jackson with the whole Super Bowl situation. But I don't know. For some reason, white girls are usually allowed to take on Black influences and incorporate in their music. In any case, the industry pushes it. They do it a lot in K-pop. Like, I've noticed that y'all take a lot of Black influences and then y'all put a bunch of Asian girls and boys on the thing, and you pretty much are selling that whole sound because they're called K-pop. It's freaking R&B. That's basically what a lot of these girls are doing, and boys. If they aren't going to tell the real story, they may as well scrap it because they're trying to whitewash it to make him look better. Well, look, the only way we'll know is when we see it. But you already know how I feel about biopics. Like, I always feel like biopics do try to whitewash and sugarcoat and all the other stuff. Hence why I just hated Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, the movie made a lot of money. Yeah, the movie won Oscars. I did not like the movie because of the way y'all tried to queer wash Freddie Mercury. Basically, lines because y'all want to appease shareholders and the mainstream audience. We all knew he was a homosexual. Basically, Lionsgate caved and added the needed 100 million budget. Well, they had to. I was like, you know how much money they spent? First of all, this is going to be an expensive ass movie. Word on the street is they spent at least 150 million on this film, but they couldn't give Madonna 100 to do her biopic. That's why I think it was smart for her to go with the Netflix deal and also go with Sean Levy because Sean Levy is a powerhouse in the industry. So her working with him is definitely going to get things done. And if they ever decide down the road to revisit the biopic with Universal, they can do it. Why we can't have both? Madonna has such an impeccable catalog that you could make a series and a movie around her life. I mean, we've had documentaries and biopics of people and things of that nature. So why can't we, like, you had a biopic of, I mean, you had a series based on the Menendez brothers, and we had a documentary. So we can have more than one storytelling of specific artists. And if we don't even get all the things that we need from the Madonna series, somebody can make a docu-series or a documentary. I would find that way more fascinating than seeing like a scripted version. Everyone knows what he did. It killed the later part of his career because the scandal followed him, and people thought, well, it was a lot of things. It was like him being weird with the little chamber that he was sleeping in, and Bubbles, the monkey, and all that weird stuff that he was doing. I don't believe it. This is where people are truly split. He was just a kid as an adult because his age was stopped when he entered Hollywood. And Michael Jackson's been performing since he was 6 years old, so he never really had a childhood. It only hurt his career in the States. We all know in Europe it didn't hurt his career. He was still huge. 50 sold out shows in London. Yeah, the Europeans will always support Michael. They still do. So you already know this movie will. I think, you know what? I think the reason why they gave the money, because I don't think that they'll feel like it'll be a disaster financially for them, because the biopic will do probably better overseas than the United States. I think a lot of people who love Michael Jackson in the US will go see it, but I do feel like it will be more impactful overseas because the Europeans love Michael Jackson. They appreciate a lot of our artists more so than we do. Yeah, they appreciate ours more than we do, unfortunately. Oh, definitely. I was thinking in my head when we were talking about Britney, that Tate McRae definitely is influenced by Janet. So let me find out. Well, I guess I'll see it when she comes to um the garden in the fall. Her song Morgan Wallen is definitely going #1, by the way, being proclaimed as a. Yeah, they could. Well, look, them breeders can have that boring song. Wait, who's Steve Yunt? Excuse me. Steve Lunt said they wanted a sample for the 30s and was told no because Britney didn't win Hollywood yet. That's why Universal denied Madonna. She didn't win Hollywood at all. Yeah. I was saying, like, Madonna is not, there's no guarantee on Madonna as a filmmaker. Her movies have not turned a profit. Her directorial stuff did not turn a profit. She's always turned a profit with the music. So when they give her those advances and they give her all that money to do what she does with her music, it always turns a profit. So they don't worry about that because Madonna is good on her investment. Now, in regards to the movies and stuff, it's like, yeah, the movies definitely she's not going to turn a profit with that because she's not proven to be a box office draw. Hence why they're feeling like we don't there's no guarantee that we can make good on our investment if we let you have full creative control. But Sean Levy, who has a $1 billion movie with Deadpool and Wolverine, we trust him. So while Madonna's like, I don't want no man on this movie, girl. You better not, because this man gonna help you get this shit made. So go with it. All right, y'all. Let's move on. Let's get into this mess. So apparently there was a measles outbreak at a Shakira concert at MetLife, which happened I think last Thursday. Because we're in funny enough, we're in a Thursday. So it was a week ago from today that there was a measles outbreak. And I have quite a couple of friends. I think my friend John was at her concert. So I'm like, Chad, you better get checked. And another friend, Karima Jagger, somebody that he went also. So there's a lot of people I know from New York went over to Jersey to go see her. So a concert goer attended a recent Shakira concert while infectious with measles, traveling from out of state to the singer's recent stadium show in New Jersey. So this is the thing. This is why your ass need to be thrown in jail, #1. Because if you went to the concert knowing full on well you had measles and went up in there and decided to infect people because measles are contagious, you need to go to jail. That's literally like somebody who knowingly has the high five who goes and infects somebody and not undetected and goes and infects somebody That's a crime. Just like this is a crime. You should have kept your ass home. You should have got your refund on that ticket and call it a day. Who are you to go up in there with measles because you selfishly want to go see your favorite artist and not even considering the health of other people? Because there's times where I be going to the garden. I don't know what's been going on lately, but it's been a lot of times I've been going to work and I be around so many people. I don't know why I be feeling like I'm under the weather when I'm working. So it's like, I feel like a lot of y'all, the big worry is, and that's why I think a lot of my coworkers wear masks, because it's like people want to go be a part of an event and they're not thinking about the health of others. So they're willing to put other people's health at risk to satisfy their own selfish need. So the second individual attended Shakira's concert, the La Mujer, y'all know Loran. I always say it like that on purpose because Supreme always goes, y no la cares on Drag Race España. So I always like saying it like that. But anyway, on May 15th, and the agency warned that anyone who was at the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford between the hours of 7:30 p.m. until 1 a.m. could have been exposed. As the U.S. Center of Disease Control points out, the virus is spread when an infected person coughs or sneezes. The virus stays in the air for up to 2 hours. That is so gross. The show was sold out. The MetLife Stadium has a capacity of more than 82,000 people. Although the NJDOH notes that at this time, no new cases have been associated with attendance at the show. Symptoms could develop as late as June 6th. Now, according to the most recent data from the CDC, there have been 1,024 confirmed cases of measles across 14 outbreaks this year. The majority of the cases are in children, with 303 cases in children under 5 and 388 cases in kids between the age 5 and 19. The CDC says 96% of those sickened are unvaccinated or their vaccine status is unknown. When I had to go work in the hospital a couple of years ago, and this is before I went to work at the Garden, in order for me to work for, the DOH, Department of Health, you got to get checked for everything: tuberculosis, measles, all of that stuff. And my measles stuff, I got all my vaccinations, so I'm good. So they said the agency said best protection against the wildly contagious illness is 2 doses of the MMR vaccine, which protects against measles, mumps, and rubella. The first dose is administered between 12 and 15 months of age. The second shot comes between 4 and 6 years. However, some adults may not remember getting these shots, or if they were born before 1957. Traditional guidelines consider them immune. Measles was so widespread before the vaccine's introduction in 1963, medical professionals assumed most people were exposed to it, resulting in some immunity. They said measles isn't just a little rash, the CDC says, warning that it could be dangerous, especially for babies and young children. 1 in 5 people who get the virus will be hospitalized with symptoms including high fever, a cough, red, runny eyes, and nose. It can cause severe health complications, including pneumonia, encephalitis, which is swelling of the brain, and death. 3 people have died in the U.S. from the measles so far this year. Now, multiple large-scale studies have found that vaccines are safe. There was no scientific link between vaccines and autism, because that was the dumb stuff that this current administration, you got people like RFK Jr. saying this mess. So, yeah, if you're going to be out here, and yeah, that's a sign of the measles. If y'all going to be out here in these streets doing stuff, can y'all at least, not be out here trying to infect people? Now, here's the thing. I should point this out. Beyonce is currently in New Jersey performing at the MetLife Stadium. Yes, the Cowboy Carter's tour, even though it's raining and it's cold and insufferable outside right now on the East Coast, Beyonce is over there at the MetLife Stadium performing the Cowboy Carter tour. So hopefully there aren't anybody in there with measles symptoms that are performing. But if you happen to attend Shakira's concert last week, definitely get checked out, because it does lay dormant for a while, and then it takes weeks to show up. So yes, if you happen to go to that MetLife concert, you may be exposed. Definitely go to a doctor and have yourself checked out. I got my measles shots when I was my MMR shots, I should say, when I was a kid. So I know my immune system, we good over here. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of people out here being reckless and not even like taking into consideration anybody's health? Like, y'all can't be out here doing this foolishness. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's get into this story. Let's talk about Miss Carrie Underwears, because apparently she was over there on American Idol, and the people was mad saying that she was out here being shady towards the winner of the show. Now, y'all already know I don't watch American Idol. I know what's going on, but because of all this drama that was going on with the show, I was like, let's talk about it. So American Idol season 23 had their winner. So Mississippi teacher and father Jamal Roberts, congratulations to him. He won the show. But this is what's insane to me about this. Out of 22 seasons or 22 years, 23 seasons and 22 years, how is it he the second black person to ever win American Idol title? Second black man. First one being Ruben Studdard in season 2. So he's literally, out of all the people that's won this show, the second black man to win. That is crazy to me. Like, why are we doing first and second still in 2025? Anyway, enough of my gripe. Let's just get back to the story. So they said the historical win was major for fans. However, folks claim that the only person who seemed unenthused by Robert's story was panel judge Carrie Underwears. Now, the country singer took to social media to congratulate the 27-year-old, sharing a photo of the two of them smiling together on the confetti-filled stage. And some people was believing that this photo was a result of damage control because they said of how shady she was. They had one receipt where Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan stood up because he won, and she sat her ass in that chair like it was too heavy to pick up. And then there was another video that I'm going to show y'all in a second. Well, actually, let me show it to y'all now. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I get to that, let me read what she said. They said, congratulations to the newest member of At American Idol. I'm so proud of Jamal Roberts and all he has accomplished this season, and I cannot wait to see what mountains he climbs next. He's going to do great things, Underwood said in a Twitter post featuring a picture of her smiling ear to ear with Roberts. However, people on social media accused her of forcing her support after the way she reacted to the announcement of Roberts being the winner. Throughout the season, Underwood critiques of him revolved less around his amazing voice and more about a lack of stage presence. In the final episode, Idol fans claimed Underwood made it obvious she was unmoved by him remaining seated during Roberts' final performance, despite her fellow judges Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan leaping up to applaud him. People in the crowd also caught the country singer on camera remaining seated until she finally joined the rest for the judging of the judging panel and giving him a standing ovation. So that wasn't the only thing, because then you had fans nitpicking at her behavior around Roberts as the judges and others rushed toward him to shake hands while Underwood appeared to keep her distance from him. They then claimed her post congratulating him was damage control after giving such a shady reaction to his win. So yeah, we have this video, which I'm gonna have to keep muted because it plays Lady Gaga's bad I think one of Lady Gaga's songs. And so if I played that, then we might get demonetized. So yeah, they said, why did judges all avoid sitting next to Carrie Underwood? After Jamal Roberts won American Idol, one of her actions sparked public outrage. After Jamal won, nearly every judge stepped forward to congratulate him with hugs and a handshake. Except Carrie Underwood, she ignored Jamal entirely, walking off to the side to chat with others. That Conan show when Jamal was announced the winner. Carrie didn't even stand or applaud at first, only doing so after the others did. During the group thing, she stood on the edge, making clear effort to avoid being near Jamal. So, then they said she didn't look genuinely happy. That could just be her face. This is who she wanted to win. You know, she's a country artist, and she was up there saying he lacked stage presence. Well, based off of what I'm watching, it don't look like that he lacks stage presence. That it looked like that he's moving around, he's having a good time. She and then they also pointed out that she snubbed Kamala Harris. But she was so quick to get up there and tap dance for Donald Trump and threw a fit because she didn't get what she needed out of that whole situation. That whole inauguration performance was a hot mess. And so, yeah, she wanted the country bumpkin to win. But how many times these country bumpkins gonna win this show? But I guess, I mean, I don't know. Is Jamal a country artist? I heard he was doing a lot of like soulful type music. Like, you trying to be like the next Shabuzi? Are you trying to get up there and do what Shabuzi out here doing? So, yeah. So, what the people said. So, one person said, this was so forced and you posted it for damage control. America caught on, FYI. Don't bring her back at American Idol. Another person said, damn, I ain't know Carrie Underwood was this racist. Another person said, her comments about Jamal stood out like a sore thumb. It was rude comment and totally uncalled for. She did it to hurt him and promote her cowboy favorite. Worst judge ever and a racist to boot. This is what somebody said on the TikTok. Now, black folks been giving Underwood the side eye ever since she happily accepted President Donald Trump's invitation to perform at his inauguration. Folks also gave her the side eye when she said she didn't receive the same respect as Beyonce during her performance. Well, girl, when you perform at a Beyonce level, then we go talk about giving you the same respect. I feel like I'm just waiting for her to say, why don't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to? And what I would have said was, because I'm not one of your damn fans. Remember when Christina said that to her mother? Joan Crawford, allegedly. So, yeah, I know you're not out here trying to compare yourself to the Queen Bee. Now, people on social media who believe the singer has gone MAGA said they boycotted watching this season of Idol in protest of her presence on the show for this very reason. Roberts himself even noted only 2 of the 3 judges seemingly really wanted him to win, though he never threw direct shade toward the country singer. Roberts has way too much ahead of him to be worried about who his haters are when he's in his winning season. Yeah, exactly. Screw Carrie Underwood. Carrie better, quiet as it's kept, I don't know anybody who's really checking for Carrie Underwood as an artist or as a musician. Like, she has to go on American Idol to even give her career some sort of relevancy, kind of like Katy Perry did. And I know Katy Perry probably pissed that she gave up that seat because with the way her tour is flopping and the way nobody cares for her music and the residency in Vegas, the people don't want her. She gonna need a cushy seat again, but figure it out where you gonna go. Where you gonna go, to The Voice? They like revolving them doors of celebrities over there. Maybe she can go there and be a part of it. But at this point, it's like, I don't know. I know people boycotted, but did it hurt the show? Like, did it affect the ratings? Because they said 25 million people went and voted for the winner or voted in the finale, the biggest they've had in a while. And I'm like, how you got 25 something million people voting? But I don't even think you got that many people watching American Idol. So somebody out here lying with these numbers. But I don't know why anybody's surprised with Carrie Underwood out here doing her behavior. So I ask all of you, what do you guys think of this story in regards to the tea that's going around about Carrie Underwood and her facing the backlash over the fact that they're saying that she a low-key racist, she was being shady towards Jamal and her little country bumpkin fave didn't win. And it's like, you know what, I can't get behind America. I just feel like all of y'all lack stage presence. A lot of y'all are boring, and I just don't, a lot of that music is a snooze. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so before we get to our final 2 topics, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And also be sure to hit that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. So now, without further ado, let's get into some homosexual news. And let's talk about one of my favorite shows, Noah's Ark. So yesterday, I gagged when I had to come across this announcement, and somebody sent me the thing about, it was my friend DJ, shout out to him. He sent me the link on Twitter that was showing like the Noah's Ark trailer had dropped. And it was a cute little teaser. It didn't really show much of anything. It is based off of what we see here and what's going on. It looks like Noah and Wade are trying to become dads. And so that, I think, is the primary focus. And shout out to Jensen Atwood. That body is body. He still look good. That man look like he ain't aged a day. Noah saw here with her little flamboyant outfits. We live for it. And with her little high-waisted pants and that crop top, you better work, Miss Mamas. And the abs are abbing with Wade in the water, children. I would show the trailer and stuff, but it's Paramount Plus, and the copyrights and all that stuff. So I don't want to even deal with that. But look, just in time for Pride Month, we getting a new Noah's Ark movie, and we have been talking about it for a while on the show. That Patrick Ian Polk has mentioned that we are getting a Noah's Ark movie, but I thought it was going to be a series actually, and there was going to be some iteration of a Noah's Ark comeback, and we've been hearing things, and it was nothing, and there was supposed to come out last year, I believe, and there was a delay or something or another. It was just a lot going on, but I'm just glad that now we have confirmation. So, according to Al, they said Noah and Wade are expecting twins. Oh, so they're already having kids and must shift gears when each is offered their dream job, forcing one of them to assume the traditional stay at home parental role. Reads the press release. Only which one? What gift can life give the man who has everything? The answer is drama and tons of it. Along with shocking plot twists, laugh out loud comedy, and thrilling displays of dizzying, intoxicating, heart lifting romance. Now, original cast members Daryl Stevens, Jensen Atwood, Rodney Chester, Doug Spearman, Christian Vincent, and Wilson Cruz are all returning to their roles. But I do wonder, with Wilson Cruz coming back, is he playing Janito? Well, obviously he's playing Janito, but I'm just like, is he with oh my God, Ricky? Is him and Ricky still hunching? I do wonder. It's been so long since I've seen them, so I'm going to have to binge both seasons. And hopefully, if Jumping the Broom is out there, I can watch that. So I want to do a whole Noah's Ark binge before I get back into before I watch this movie, because I want to refresh my memory. Okay, so they said Stevens is stoked to reprise the starring role of Noah and is amazed that there's still this energy around this show 20 years after its original premiere, saying it's refreshing to be revisiting Noah's Ark during the current administration. He tells Out exclusively. LGBTQ folks are fraught with lots of challenges at the moment, and I think that's what Noah's Ark did in 2005. I hope it is able to do this again in 2025. Yeah, that's crazy that it's 20 years ago this show came out. So now television legends Jasmine Guy from A Different World, T.C. Carson, Kyle Barker from Living Single, have also joined the cast alongside reality TV stars T.S. Madison, who is everywhere at this point, and Kennedy Davenport, Eva Marcille, Gregory Keith, Jonathan Julian White, Kay Hood, Mariella, I think that's how you say her name, Jason Jabbar, and Dynasty St. James round out the new cast. Now, I think that's pretty much all the info that we have on that. But creator and executive producer Patrick M. Polk is amazed the show's enduring following and legacy, saying that we've never lost faith, and certainly the fans have never forgotten this show. He tells Out that's been the most amazing thing to see our original fans are still around. They love the show, but the younger people just continue to discover it. This is exactly the third Noah's Ark movie. The first, Jumper the Broom, premiered in 2008, and the second was a pandemic-era short film revisit to the characters titled The Rona Chronicles. Over the span of 2 decades, the community has continued to rally around the groundbreaking LGBTQ series, saying the people are still out there. They want more of this. And yes, we do. So I feel like maybe what will happen is that when this movie comes on and it does well, that hopefully they will consider rebooting the franchise and kind of continuing it like a legacy series with the full cast, because I feel like that's exactly what we need right now. Like, I really feel like that Noah's Ark definitely needs to make a comeback. It has been one of the shows. I remember when I was in the 2000s and I first came across the show. Yeah, we had Queer as Folk, and then years later, we had Noah's Ark. And Noah's Ark and RuPaul's Drag Race both being two prominent Black shows on Logo, because I had to remember the damn service, the channel on Logo back in the day, and that being one of their biggest shows or whatever. To me, that was like just an amazing thing. And I feel like in a time like this, that is definitely something that we need. We definitely need Noah's Ark to come back. I love the cast. I love the original cast. I loved everything about the show. The one thing I didn't like about Noah's Ark was the fact that it was too short. It was like 30-minute episodes. A lot of it felt, and the one thing about when you do these short shows, when to me it looks like when you do Noah's Ark was something that deserved 1 hour. It didn't need to be 30 minutes or 22 minutes with commercials, because I felt like, and then they only had like a short season. So it was like what, maybe 8 to 10 episodes, something or another, like, or 9 episodes, something like that. And you really can't get a whole lot in that time, because you have all these characters. You have these four group of friends that you have to kind of like work their dynamics and everything. And they had the whole Sex and the City vibe. But Sex and the City, yeah, that was a 30-minute show, but they had like a lot of episodes to their season. They didn't have like 9 episodes or 10 episodes or 8 episodes. They didn't have a short thing. They had like, they could do like 13 to sometimes 16 episode seasons, I believe. So they had enough time to flesh out the characters and things of that nature. So that was the only gripe that I had with the Logo series. But you don't realize, like, when it is slim pickings when it comes to Black entertainment, especially Black queer entertainment, and it was so groundbreaking to see a show like Noah's Ark, because we didn't really get to see shows like this, or people like us, especially Black queer people, same gender loving, if you want to call it that, represented and shown on TV, let alone on a big screen thing. Like, the one thing I loved about Patrick and Poe, I was always a fan of his, from Punks to The Skinny and so many other movies. Like, it's always kind of played in that whole world. To see like he was pushing the boundaries, and it was so groundbreaking to see this Black queer filmmaker making stuff that I could relate to. And then I was coming up in the time of like being young in the 2000s and trying to figure my way out in this world, being a homosexual man of color, and watching this show and relating to a lot of those characters. I mean, what do you think? What's a the Gaga? I got that from Noah's Ark. And, I just love the characters. So I'm really looking forward to this series. And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say on that. So yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer, definitely check it out. I believe that it drops on, I didn't even tell you all the day. So I believe was Noah's Ark the movie. It comes out on June 20th. So that's a good thing that we're getting, a good queer film around the time of just in time for Pride Month. So I'm definitely here for it. So I want to hear from you all. What do you guys think of the story? You guys excited that finally we are getting ourselves a Noah's Ark movie? I can't wait. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I was I was kind of stalling at one point when I was in the middle of that, because I was there was some stuff that was going on up in there. I was like, I need to fix that. It was an error in the article. Not Carrie underwhelming. I was excited to watch the teaser. I didn't get much out of it, but to be fair, it was that was the only thing about it too. It was like a real tiny teaser, which kind of makes me wonder. We probably are getting a full trailer. Hopefully, we are, but they just wanted to let us know. I guess it was coming. I hope this leads to more serious acting gigs for Maddie and Kennedy. I'm so excited because Maddie's everywhere. It's like, I love the fact that we're seeing, T.S. Madison's getting to be a part of Noah's Ark. And also her podcast that she did with Tina Knowles and Chaperone. The YouTube, they finally uploaded the videos to the YouTube, because I happened to come across this when I was going through my YouTube stuff this morning. So if people want to actually watch the interviews instead of listening to it, now they can actually watch it on the YouTube channel, the Outlaws YouTube channel. I want to watch Brokeback Mountain in theaters. That might be nostalgic for me, because I actually went to the movies to see Brokeback Mountain. So when they bring it back to the theaters, I might actually go back. You want to know something? I actually like that the theaters are doing this, that they found something that they could do, like these Fathom events where they, a 20th anniversary, 25-year anniversary, like when The Matrix, they had their 25th year anniversary. I went to the movies to see it. Brokeback Mountain's having a 20-year anniversary. I might go see that, because I saw the movie in theaters. So I might want to go see it again. She's getting more Mm. Well, Luke McFarlane's out here still working. I think, is he still doing Lifetime movies? They should never let Billy Eichner near making a movie. He's annoying, but Luke McFarlane's still acting. Um, but yeah, T.S. Madison, I am definitely like, she is the ultimate goal. Where I would like to go is like acting gigs, getting to do live shows, meeting the fans and doing a live show, like all of that stuff. I definitely want to be doing stuff like that. And so getting to be a part of stuff like Noah's Ark, yeah, that's definitely a good look to have that on your resume. My friends got tickets to the Miley Cyrus film. Oh, so there's an actual movie thing that's coming on. I didn't even know that they were doing it. I think I remember I heard about that they were doing she was doing a movie or whatever, but I didn't know she was releasing it theatrically. But that's good to know. All right, so let's get to our final topic. And let's talk about Lexi Love. So apparently a week after, I think it was like a day, we had just found out that she was going to rehab and stuff. And now she said she's only been in rehab for a week and she had to leave. So RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17 finalist Lexi Love has offered her followers an update on her recovery after leaving rehab facility due to unforeseen circumstances. So trans icon Lexi Love gagged viewers during her 17 seasons of RuPaul Drag Race, making it all the way to the top 4 with a little help from some jaw-dropping runway looks, a charming personality, and an admirable honesty when it came to her past. Love was open about her struggles with substances and other ordeals while appearing on the season, and shortly after On Your Nerves snatched the crown, she announced that she was taking a step back from drag. 2 weeks later, Love confirmed that she would be gone for a while after checking into a rehab facility for substance abuse treatment and emotional therapy. But the 34-year-old has today, and they said May 19th, so that was about 3 days ago, returned to social media to offer fans an update and share her time in that special rehab facility in Texas was short-lived due to some unforeseen circumstances. Well, maybe you should have went to Texas. And that's no shade, but I'm just like, well, maybe it is, because they always say like Texas is not, you know, good for the homosexuals. So in a post posted on her social media, she wrote this, and it's a long one. She said, hurt people, and sometimes people are just outright mean. No matter what I try to keep an optimistic mindset, but sometimes divas is just trying to prevent new trauma from sprouting. Unfortunately, my time in rehab was short-lived due to some unforeseen circumstances, overwhelming biases, and lack of professionalism where I was staying. What is important is today is the 19th, and we are still 19 days sober from the narcotics and hard liquor, and that is more important than anything else. Of course, due to these factors, I will have to seek out further progress on my understanding of my personal relationship to addiction. I'm not going to lie, I feel like I'm fully capable of doing this, given some of my newfound self-worth and or clarity. Update. I will be spending the next 12 days preparing and continuing to indulge on my own personal path to recovery and get ready to see all of you and your smiling faces next month in June for Pride, where I will be continuing all my regular bookings. Please note that attending my shows and continuing to do what you do is going to be perfectly fine with me. Just remember, I'm in recovery, so please don't offer me anything that is in green. Is that I hashtag Lexi love you all and can't wait to see you again. Well, when you saying green, I mean, so that means that you're not clear of all the drugs that you're still out here smoking weed and stuff. I mean, I guess some people would consider like weed's not a drug and all that other stuff. So, or like a drug like crack or heroin or something like that. So, um, okay, well, I mean, she said that there was some biases and things that was going on in the thing. So I'm wondering if it had to do with there were some people up in there that were being ignorant towards her because, you know, she was trans and they were being transphobic or something or another. I guess in this day and age, she doesn't really feel comfortable enough to want to speak out as to what was going on. But I am glad that she realized that she has, you know, that she doesn't want to be somewhere where she's uncomfortable and wants to remove herself from any kind of situation that is making her uncomfortable. So If you don't want to be there, then that's fine. But I just hope that you get the help that you need, or that somebody could recommend a place for it. But I don't know. But I'm sure they would have something like this. I don't know. I've never done rehab. I don't know anything about rehab and stuff. But I wonder if there are safe spaces for people who are queer that want to go to a rehabilitation center where they can get the help and stuff that they need. And hope and if that's not a step that she wants to take yet, because I remember there was an article and I was looking for it while I was talking to y'all. There was something that Tina Burner revealed on her Instagram, well, not Instagram, on her Facebook page. Maybe I can combine both because she wrote this and she was talking about something called Queen Care, which is, I believe, is offered after you do Drag Race, where the girls get the help that they need, especially because, you know, when you got to deal with the online bullying and all that other stuff that's going on. And I wonder if Queen Care is something that, which is provided to the queens, you know, post Drag Race, if they could provide her a place that could help her deal with whatever she's dealing with. So I do wonder if that's what it is. But yeah, so I saw this from Tina Burner on her Facebook page she posted today. She said, "Tomorrow I am back on your screens. Although exciting, it also feels like I'm bracing for a storm. The first time around on season 13, I have to say I wasn't fully prepared for what would follow: the darkness, the hate, the confusion. Looking back on season 13, I have to say I don't even see myself anymore. I have changed and grown so much as a person. I pushed myself to actually find out who I really was, not only in my physical drag transformation, but more so on the inside. My whole life, let me pull that up for y'all so y'all can see it. My whole life, there have been so many things I never understood why I am who I am. Why I act certain ways in social settings and relationships and friendships and just life in general. My overwhelming focus on things and certain patterns. For years, I tried to quiet the creative inside me. I thought the overworking and alcohol would silence or slow down what I felt inside. I never truly understood who I was. While filming season 13, I was introduced to Queen Care. Queen Care is basically therapy at your disposal provided by Drag Race. For the first time in my life, therapy didn't feel like a stigma, but rather a tool to help. I learned that it was nothing to be ashamed of, but rather an incredible resource. Growing up, therapy was not something that was ever discussed in my family. I was made to feel that reaching out for help was a sign of a weakness. I can still hear my dad, "Toughen up, Chrissy boy." Like so many others, my whole life I knew I was not the normal. I struggle with my sexuality more, but more importantly, my mental health. These past 4 years have been a journey. Thanks to Queen Care, I ended up exploring other options regarding my mental health. I went to my community healthcare center, Colin Lord, in NYC, and to seek more answers and continue with therapy. So the answer, I guess, to answer my question is like, yeah, Queen Care definitely will give her the opportunity to explore things about their mental health and then look into what you need to look into those that can help you. Do they have a Colin Lord or whatever in Texas or wherever she's at where they could look into this? Okay, so now let's go back. Next, I sought further clarification and was diagnosed with autism or ASD and ADHD. I finally had answers to so many questions. If you know me you know I love a project. For the first time in my life, the project is me. So I want to thank you. Thank you for the hate. Thank you for the negativity. Without it, I would have never found myself. You don't have to like me. You don't have to understand me, but the only person that has to understand me is me. Thank you for the clarity. You have pushed me to become the better version of myself. To all those who have stood by my side, shown me love and support, and took the time to understand me even when I didn't, I am forever in your debt. Your love has always been the lighthouse. Flame on, flamers. He also said that shout out to anyone else who has found self-love on the spectrum. All Stars 10, get ready for the tiz, Riz. It's time to glow up and show up. Hashtag Pink Pony Club. By Ronald, hello me. Okay, so yeah, so basically there you have it. So I guess to answer my own question, then yeah, they do have resources or whatever that could help Lexi. And hopefully she gets the help that she needs and doesn't think like, okay, well, that place made me uncomfortable. Now I think that I'm good. I'm about to go and do Pride, which you already know Pride is the busiest month for a lot of the LGBTQ performers where they make their most money. But hopefully you won't be pushed into temptation and then you relapse. So I don't know. It seems like she's not ready to be out here in the world, but she's grown. This her decision. Hopefully you're able to stay on the right path and don't skewer off. And if you do, that's fine. We all stumble. Like nobody's perfect. Addiction is forever. And addiction is not easy. And maintaining your sobriety is not easy. So shout out to you, Lexi, and shout out to you, Tina Burner. May you continue to turn it and burn it. So I say all this to say, damn, it was what I want to say is, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on Lexi Love and her recent leaving of Rehab, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, I had to stop that because I was like, wait a minute. I was about to bring up something. I was like, why is Madonna trending on Twitter? I was seeing her, and then now I'm looking. I went and talked about Lexi Love, and now she pops up in my damn timeline. Lucy LaDuca said, I want to celebrate Let Loose hitting over 1 million streams on Spotify. Can you comment with Let Loose? I said let her loose meme so I don't have to go looking for them, please. I was like, okay, congratulations, daughter. That your song has gone hit 1 million streams. Well, look, let loose, say what you want. That song was about. I was like, wait, why is Madonna trending? Oh, she put, shut up, jealous bitches. I hope you are as fun-loving and adventurous as me when you're my age. And this is during the Rebel Heart era, when she said, and it said, which Gen X intern is responsible for the YouTube MTV account? They can't get the year right. Saying Madonna on lip syncing. MTV 1984. Oh, MTV, how far have you sunk? This clip's from 1991. Remember the M in MTV stood for Madonna and how you can't even get the year right? Yeah, because this look is very much the 90s. This is not 1984. She did not have this blonde situation going on. So I'm like, why is Madonna trending? I don't know. There's just a lot going on with her. But anyway, let me read y'all comments and see what y'all saying out here. You said it cost him $59 because it comes with exclusive Pride merch. Miley said, once you see the film, the album makes okay. Trans icon, and she's only been famous for 5 months. I know. That's the funny part about these blogs when they talk about stuff. I'm like, girl, how is she a trans icon? Like Aja is a trans icon. Sonique is a trans icon. Monica Beverly Hills is a trans icon. These are girls who've been around for a while. Like, you can't just be famous for a minute and get the trans icon thing. They threw that icon word around too much. I shouldn't have used it in the headline if I was paying attention, but I was putting the show together. So I'll send you her interview with Zane Lowe. Miley can't tour. She wanted to, but she remembered doing drugs, getting drunk, and not being healthy. So it's best to not tour to stay sober. I think she was saying something other. She wasn't kind of going out and touring anymore. She didn't really want to be out here like touring like she used to. She also said she was born with a condition that damages her vocal cords. She did hint at it in the future, but just not right now. Miley is the only modern artist that can pull off an Eras type tour. This new album is about to flop. I mean, quiet as it's kept, it's like a lot of her albums post bangers have flopped. But thank you for keeping us entertained while we wait for this All Stars 10 episode to drop. Okay, because we're about an hour and 7 minutes away. Well, not even, because it's 11:07. So the show about to come on in about 50 minutes, give or take. So you're welcome. And I had some stuff that I was going to try to watch quickly before I get to it. Wait, who sent me this? Did you send me more? Wait, hold on. Did you send me more Arietti stuff? Because I also don't like how vague Arietti is being when she's making crazy accusations without proof about Irene. I feel like if you're accusing someone of serious things like this, then at least talk about how it's seriously. And they said, because she said, what is it? And no, it definitely wasn't a man because I'm very clear, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I do agree with that too. And the one thing is, when I was doing more of a deep dive of the Ariette and Irene, the alien stuff, I had no idea they were mother and daughter. And Irene was like, no, she's disowned. And then you had Mistress up there being messy. Um, that is true. Sasha Colby is a trans icon, which is why I got to watch that T.S. Madison interview that she did with her and Chappella Rowana. So yeah. Yeah, that whole Ariette thing, this is the second time Ariette came out and said something real mean and real vicious. And no, but you went in on your nerve, and now you went in on Irene. And it's like, look, if Irene decided to take it behind the court and file a suit, and it's funny how I don't know who said it on here, but they was like, look, they need to tour together, her and Tyra Sanchez. There's a special place in hell for her, because I saw recently she posted something about Trinity K. Bonet is gonna die of AIDS. She posted that earlier today, and I'm like, this girl just craves attention. And the people was in the comments eating her up. So it's like, yeah, we know. First of all, Trinity has been open about her HIV status. So you trying to throw something that is not a read, it's a fact in her face, is not a read, you dummy. And somebody posted a picture of her smiling saying, and your teeth are still jacked. And they are, because that bottom row, girl. You definitely need some veneers, but you probably can't afford them. That was a few days ago. Just, oh, okay. Listen, I never liked her. I always sensed something about her. Like, it's my area. Yeah, and I'm like, no, I agree. I don't like Arietta either. Like at first I was like, I was loving the costume. Funny enough, I remember when I saw her hit the red carpet, I really wasn't caring for her. I was like, let me just take a picture. But I wasn't feeling her either. Well, okay, it's cute, whatever. Like, it was giving me Melanie Martinez cosplay with the fashions and the ears and all that other stuff. And then when she was on the show, I was like, okay, she's cute. Out of drag, I thought he was a cutie. And then when halfway through, when you started, when those confessionals and some of the stuff that Ariette was saying, I'm like, I don't like you. And the what irritates me is that there will really be people out here who defend her behavior because they like her look and she's attractive. Hence why I am here for what oh my god, what the hell is her name? The queen that was just on All Stars that just did Roscoe's, and how she was talking about, yeah, they was in an alliance, but they wanted to make sure a melanin girl got through, because any other time, y'all be up here celebrating these little mediocre white girls that just put on a little basic outfit. And you're like, she ate. And then a black girl do the same damn thing. And it's like, you got to work twice as hard to get that same validation. So we wanted to make sure that we got a melanated girl into the show. So whether or not, anybody else made it, but to me, when I looked at Aja, I was like, no, Aja definitely is the strongest contender out of the melanated girls. So I was happy that she made it through. But yeah, definitely tonight is about to be a mess, because I know at midnight when that episode dropped, I'm definitely going to be, I'm going to be all in. I'm not going to be on my computer messing with anything or working. I'm definitely going to have to focus on this episode, because it's going to be messy, especially with Mistress and then starting her mess. So it's like, yeah, but I agree. I was not really here for, okay, because that grill, child. But anyway, y'all. Okay, so looks like we're at the end of the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Hamlin Unfiltered. If you have not already, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Hamlin Unfiltered. It's going to be a long weekend, so I will probably try to come on Memorial Day, which is Monday, but who knows? I may end up barbecuing and throwing some stuff on the grill, but if I can, since we talking about grills and canceling and all that other stuff, I'll try to see if I can squeeze in a little show for y'all, because yeah, that'll be too much of a wait. I was like, yeah, if I didn't do a show today, that would be like 4 days before I come on and do a live. But yeah, I'll be back. Lord willing, I gotta check my schedule to see if I'm actually working because it's like a lot going on. It's just crazy busy. So love you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in and continuously supporting the show. Once again, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, ciao, darlings.